Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What if Naruto was respected night god and had harem with Asuna Kagarazaka? Movie. As a young man who was drifting in the space of nothingness around him, he could help but smile as he died for the world he had just left. Well, that was fun. I wonder what Kami-sama has in store for the next world I'm going to? Said the young man. Just then he heard an angelic voice call him. There you are, Naruto-kun, excellent work in that world you were just in. I hope you had fun because there is a new world you are going to, said the goddess Kami herself. The young man identified as Naruto, a blonde spiky-haired with a small ponytail, Minato hairstyle with a ponytail. With sharp sapphire eyes, light tanned skin, whisker-like marks tripled on each cheek, wearing a white long-sleeve shirt and black jeans and sandals. Naruto bowed and said, of course Kami-sama, and yes, I lots of fun. You see, after winning the Fourth Shinobi War and defeating Tobi, he had become Hokage and brought peace to the elemental nations. After he died from his long reign, the goddess gave him a proposal, that he would be brought back to life or reincarnated to help one of the many different worlds there are. After he helped that world or died, he would do so again and again, thus in his mind having the ultimate adventure. He had currently finished in his fifth world, and he had to say that for a world with superpower alien humanoid monkeys, they were some of the best fighters he had fought against and with. Good. The world you will be going to is a world magic and mages. You will be reincarnated as the son of the strongest mage known as the Thousand Master Nagi Springfield. Your limitations are that you can keep your Kage Bushin no Jutsu. You will also have the Rasengan, and your chakra will be changed to mana, the spiritual energy used for magic. Understood? Said the deity. Yes, Kami-sama, I'm ready. May fortune smile upon you, my knight. Zero, somewhere in the magical world. Zero, god damn you, Nagi Springfield, I'm going to kill you. Now Eureka, you don't mean that. You love your awesome knight, right? Right now the strongest mage known as Nagi Springfield was in the greatest battle for his life, trying not to get killed by his lovely wife Eureka Anarchia Entheophusia and ex-queen of Vespertatia, who was current giving birth to their first child. She then slapped him and he went flying into the wall rather painfully. It's crowning, just a few more pushes, come on, you can do it, said the wet nurse. With one last push the room was silenced, then it broke into the voice of a cry. It's a boy, congratulations. The nurse then handed the baby to his mother. Hey, he's got your blonde hair, and look at that, he even has your eyes. A sapphire in his right and an emerald in his left, said a fully recovered Nagi after his meeting with the wall. Yes, his eyes are shaped like yours and even has your face and light tan skin. His hair is probably be as unruly as yours, Eureka said while a small smile. Hey, my hair his badass and you know it, so what we going to name the little guy? Nato? Yes, Naruto Springfield. Oh come on, fish cakes, really? Okay, no way. No you fool, it means Maelstrom. He may look like me, but I bet he'll have your personality, which means Maelstrom fits him perfectly. Yay, guess you got a point there. Alright Naruto, it is then. And so a few years passed. Naruto was 4 now and was being taken care by Jack Rakan, while Nagi, Alberio, and Eureka were off hunting remnants of Cosmo and Telekia. Taken care of as read as training, which is then read as getting his butt handed to him. Naruto currently held his spiky blonde hair in a small ponytail like his father and was wearing black shorts and shoes with a white long-sleeved shirt. On his left index finger was a silver magic ring for casting. Dang you pervert, this is considered child abuse, you know, Naruto said as his Cantus Bellics faded. Come on Gaki, you said you wanna beat your pops, right? So I'm giving you some training. Besides, if it helps your bruised ego, I doubt most 4-year-olds can even fight like you do. It was true, no one knew why Naruto could fight so well for his young age, but Nagi just proclaimed his son was going to be as badass as him. Eureka didn't seem to like him learning to fight so young, but pushed it aside when he showed how smart he was, so she agreed in her mind with her husband. My ego thanks you. I'm going to take a nap and maybe work on my lightning spell. Naruto had found out just like his dad he was attuned to lightning spells. He was also attuned fire spells, so he was trying and making steady progress with turning his knowledge of Raiden jutsus into spell counterparts of them. So mainly he was working on Chidori for starters. Then he would work his way up from there, since Chidori was a high-level lightning manipulation technique. Ah, does the Gaki want a bedtime story too? Ha ha ha. Jack's response was a rock thrown to his head which he dodged. I can see what Mom means when she says they're a bunch of bakas, he mumbled. As he went to sleep, his parents and friend returned from a job well done, it seemed. Yo, Jack, we're back. Where the kid at? Said somewhat dust-covered Nagi. The Gaki went to take a nap after some training. Man, you two made one hell of a little monster. The kid's a sponge, Nagi, no joke. He even thinks up his own spells in that little book of his. He acts like you in a fight, but smarter though. Thanks pal, love ya too. Anyway, we'll wake him up later. For now, do what we've been doing. Yes, I agree. There is no doubt that some of Cosmo Entelekia still remains, so we will have to continue the hunt. But do you think we should leave Naruto with your bother till this is over? Because I think it would be better for him to live peacefully for a while. He can even enter the magical academy in Wales. Rika pointed out, wanting her son to stay settled instead of being on the move constantly. No, going on the road will help build character. I mean, look at me, I turn out good, replied the Thousand Master. Yes, we all see that. That's what I am afraid of, the ex-queen mumbled. Well, we better get going soon, we got some ground to COV. Was all Nagi said. A quick streak of yellow came at him. The perpetrator threw a punch only for Nagi to dodge it, then catch it and put the culprit in a headlock. Aw man, usually you're too absorbed in yourself when you're talking like a leader. It seemed like a good chance to get you. Naruto pouted as he struggled from the headlock. Sorry brat, you're 100 years too early to get the drop on me, Nagi said with a light chuckle. Just you wait, Dad. The spells I'm thinking up will toast you. Nagi finally let go and Naruto ran to his mother and hugged her. Hey Mom, missed you. Rika bent down and kissed his forehead. I missed you, sweetie. Come, let's go pack and get ready to leave, okay? Okay Mom. Race ya. Naruto exclaimed as he ran to his room, enjoying the fact to be raised with a family in this life. Rika let out a small giggle and walked after him. My Nagi, he almost got you there. Starting to slip. Oh great Thousand Master, said the sarcastic mage. Please Al, he's good but not that good yet. Alright, let's get going guys, rather not get the scary mother angry, said the tall man. 0 time skip 5 years later. 0 Naruto Pav. Well, Mom had disappeared a year ago, but I found out that I have a little brother now. I wonder why Dad doesn't let us visit him, but he said we had some things to do. We recently saved a little girl who was only 6 years old from some tower. Apparently she had the ability to cancel magic, so those bastards that kept her locked up were using her as a weapon. Naturally Dad brought her with use. She had long orange hair and pigtails and she had the same eyes as mine. She was a bit quiet, but I got her to open up a bit. Takamichi and I usually take care of her, but she seems to only hang around either me or Dad. End of Naruto Pav. Alright Asu-chan, just lift your right hand a bit more and spread your legs out some more. Good, now strike me. Naruto was currently teaching Asuna the basics of the academy style back in his first life after he relearned it on his training trip from the sabotaged style the teachers had taught him. She was picking it up pretty quick too. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Takamichi asked. I was going through some katas and Asu-chan asked if I could teach her, so here we are. Yay, I want to kick butt like Naru-kun, Asuna said with a giggle, her eyes full of life that was once so dim. Well, be careful, we wouldn't want Asuna-kun hurt now, right? Hey, a princess should know how to protect themselves. I mean, Mom was really strong and she was a princess. Besides, she's a natural, Naruto said. Asuna blushed lightly at the praise. Takamichi just shook his head and chuckled lightly. Later that night after dinner, Naruto and Asuna went to look at the stars. Hey Naru-kun, what do you want to do when you get older? Asked a timid Asuna. You really want to know? Asuna just nodded her head with interest. I don't know, it's a bit of a secret, but since you're asking I guess it's okay. Unknown to them, Nagi, Jack, and Al were listening a little bit away. Naruto had a big smile on his face and said, I want to start my own group just like Dad's, going around saving people, doing heroic things, and having lots of fun. Don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with Alarubra, but I want to get my group of friends just like Dad did. Hey, I got an idea, you want to join my future group? Asu-chan, you can be my second in command. You can boss the others around and even keep me out of trouble just like Mom did for Dad when he gets over his head. At this, Jack and Al laughed quietly while saying whipped, and Nagi was muttering about disrespectful brats. So how about it? Asuna blushed lightly and though about the idea and nodded her head. Okay, but you got to give me something. Okay, what is it? Naruto asked cluelessly. I get to be your partner, no ifs about it, Asuna said with a glare. Okay, let's do it. No, I mean knowing the guys will pick on us. And with that Naruto activated a Pactio circle and the two were blushing up a storm and then the two kissed. The circle activated and out came a card of Asuna. It was a picture of Asuna in her blue dress, her arms crossed with what seemed to be gauntlets on her hands. They were smaller than normal ones with metal plates going halfway up her forearms, and the metal plate on top of her hands each had a red spiral mark, the Uzumaki symbol. The name of the card was Turbo Tutor, Whirlpool Defender. Wow, talk about a flash from the past. Nice card. Asu-chan looks strong too. Asuna muttered a small thank you and rushed to bed and covered her face so no one could see her deep blush. Naruto followed suit and went to bed too. Like father like son, I suppose. Would you say, Nagi? The group healer asked. What do you mean, Al? So he got a Pactio, no doubt he'll get more. That not what I meant. Naruto-kun even said it earlier, like you, he fell for a princess too. It seems he is following in your footsteps. Ah, I get it, so the Gaki's pretty much going to be whipped like his old man when he gets older, Jack said in understanding. I'm not whipped. Both Al and Jack looked at each other and imitated Nagi's voice and said yes, mistress, and both just laughed at him. Nagi just chased after them cartoon style. 0 times skip 2 years later 0. Dad and I had to leave the group for some reason he didn't give. Naruto was currently wearing a black long-sleeve shirt with brown pants and black boots. He still wore his hair in a ponytail and wore his spell-casting ring on his left index finger and a chain around his neck that had a small wand-like charm on it. The charm looks like Faye's staff from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. And finally a cloak like his dad's. He told me he was dropping me off at a village in Wales, so I immediately thought of my younger brother. I really miss Asuna though. Wish Dad would have let me stay with her and Kanka master-apprentice pair. As we arrived at the village we got a sight to see. The village was in flames and demons were running about. Damn it, Naruto, see if you can find some survivors and take care of some of those demons. I'll go look for Negi. Promise not to die on me, okay brat? Gotcha, and yay, the same to you pops. Naruto started running into the village and looked around. Tempestas of Meus Pectus Pectoris. Melodia Bellix de Bifestinando. The Storm of My Heart. Melody of Battle, Double Speed Fist. With Melodia Bellix active he raced through some demons with key-enhanced fists and took out 4 of them. He heard screaming from a house and kicked the door in. He saw a little girl with red hair and pigtails. He approached slowly in order not to scare her. Hey there little one, can you tell me your name? He asked while kneeling near her. The little girl answered in a small voice, almost a whisper, I'm Anya. Who are you, Ni-san? He gave her a smile and said, I'm Naruto and I'm here to help. Ni-san here is going to get you out and to safety. Think you can be a big brave girl for me? He stated with a voice that offered security. I'll try, just don't leave me, okay? She said, coming out from her hiding spot. Sure. Hope on my back and we will get out of here. As soon as she did they jolted out of there and Naruto made some clones to fight some of the demons to ensure some more people could get away. As he focused on finding his dad he saw him on a hill with a long-haired blonde girl and a small red-haired boy. As he approached he let Anya down. Do you think you can look after that Oni-san over there and the little kid while I talk to that man? He got a nod from the girl and she raced over to the older girl. Naruto then walked up to his dad as he finished talking to the little boy. Negi, I want you to meet your older brother, he'll be watching out for you, okay? Negi gave his father a nod and looked at his older brother and smiled. Naruto returned it and asked Negi to go over to the girls, which he did with his father's staff. Am I to guess you're going then? The silence he got was all the answer he needed. Naruto then took out a knife and cut his palm and tossed it to his dad and activated a Pactio circle. A little insurance to know you don't secretly keel over on me before I can kick your ass, Naruto said with a Springfield-like grin. Nagi held the same grin and cut his hand and they shook hands. The circle faded and a card came out. The picture of the card had Naruto in what he was currently wearing with a smirk on his face and a hand on his hip with chains all around him. The title was Uranus Chains, Heavenly Chains. Put it to good use, brat, Nagi said with a smirk, and then his face turned serious. Watch out for him, okay Naruto, he's going to need you. Yay I know, you be careful too, and gave him a light punch to the shoulder. And just like that, Nagi left and Naruto was wondering how his new life was going to be like. All he did was look at the starry sky and smiled. While all the graduates were receiving their diplomas, Naruto was sitting next to his older cousin Nikane. He was sporting a black long-sleeve turtleneck with blue jeans and black combat boots. He was wearing a short-sleeve white cloak much like his father from his first life, with a hood that would cover his face and the tip of the hood was pointed. 1. He also had his wand charm necklace on and stood at a good 5-8 feet. 2. As the ceremony closed, he and Nikane walk up to both Negi and the friend of the Springfield family, Anya. After being rescued, Anya looked up to Naruto like a big brother as she saw Nikane as an older sister. Pretty much she was a part of their little family. "So Negi, what you get?" "I got fortune telling in London," spoke the redhead. "Well, before that I got some gifts for the two graduates," Naruto said as he pulled out a small scroll and a bundle package from a pocket dimension. He handed the scroll to Anya and the package to Negi with a smile on his face. Anya opened hers first. "Wow, a high-level fire spell, thank you so much Oni-chan," said girl, then hugged Naruto, to which he just chuckled. "No problem. Hey Negi, open yours, I like you would need one now," he stated cryptically. As Negi opened it, he was shook. It was his Nissan's battle cloak that he wore when first came to Wales. "I got that from Dad when I was about your age, so I saved to give to you later on. That and every Springfield needs a battle cloak. I even got Nikane one, but she refuses to wear it, so stubborn." He muttered the last part to himself. Just like Anya, Negi jumped Naruto with tears in his eyes. "Thank you so much, Ni-san." Now Negi let Naruto go and dry those tears. "Okay. Now open up the scroll so we can see where you're going," said the female blonde. "All right, it should be coming up now," Negi said as they all loomed over to read it. "A teacher in Japan. WHAATTTTT. 0 please headmaster, there must be a mistake. Negi is only 10. Hardly a good enough age to teach a class, especially in a foreign country," Nikane asked worriedly. The headmaster simply smiled and looked at the two children that were freaking out in the corner. "Yes, it is correct, Nikane. Negi-kun is to go to Mahora Academy in Japan and be one of the middle school teachers." Nikane sighed in defeat while Naruto just leaned against the wall and laughed at his brother's luck. Now that that's settled, Negi-kun, Negi looked up at the smiling headmaster. "You must work very hard in order to become a great mage like your father and brother. Also, the headmaster is one of my good friends, so just do your best, he'll look out for you. Also, one of the teachers is an old friend of yours, so you'll have a familiar face." Which made Negi confused. Naruto then stood forward. "Don't worry Negi. I'll join up with you soon as I finish that mission Theo-chan gave me to do in Mundus Magicus." He placed a hand on his shoulder. "Expand your wings, little brother, I can't wait to see how the real world changes you. Might be fun, you know," Naruto said with a grin. Negi just smiled at his brother and nodded. Nikane wished Naruto to go with Negi now, but she knew he had a responsibility as the personal knight to the third princess of the Hellas Empire, his best friend Theodora. "Well, got to run. Remember Negi, don't do anything I wouldn't do," said a retreating blonde. To which everyone's sweat dropped to 0 flashback end 0. As he finished, he heard a voice by his door. "So Sparky, you really going to leave your princess unattended? How cruel you are," said the voice in a playful tone. Naruto turned around and saw a dark-tanned girl with long blonde hair, and she had 2 horns around her head that looked like crown and pointy ears. "Theo-chan, don't call me that, and yes, but do not worry my lady, as through the bond we share you can always call me when you get scared at night." "I know, but who chase all my suitors away from me? You do that pretty well by yourself, and I call you that because you always use your magic to make static to zap someone who's annoying you." True, he did find that fun. "Well partner, I got a gate to catch. Keep that with ya Theo-chan. Don't know when you'll hurt yourself, tomboy." With that he hirshined 3 away to the warp gate. "Don't call me that. That bok, I swear." With that she looked at the card in front of her with a blush on her face. It showed her in a ball gown with a green diamond gem on her forehead. 4. The title of the card said, Gemma Curationum, Healer's Gem. 0 as Naruto's plane finally landed in Japan, looked around for his old friend from Alarubra. "Naruto-kun, over here," said a familiar voice. He turned around and saw a scruffy bearded man with white hair and suit. "Yo Michi, how's it going?" Naruto said as he gave his brother in arms a quick hug. Going well, Naruto-kun. Negi's doing well for himself, just finished the exams and got his class to first place, and they just had a party yesterday too. Sounds like him. So, how's Twiligheim doing? He asked in a quiet voice. Takamichi gave him a sad smile. She's living a good student life from the memory wipe. In fact, Negi is actually rooming with her. Takamichi had told Naruto what happened to Asuna when he came by to visit him and Negi. When he first told him, Naruto just punched him in the face and cursed up a storm, thanked Kami for the sound barrier around the room. Afterwards he apologized and told him to hit him back, but he just flicked him on the nose. He understood his friend rash action, it just show how he cared for Asuna. So every time he visited he would keep him updated. That's good, as long as she happy I am too. Hell, maybe I'll have her fall in love with while I'm here, he said with a smirk. Even for Naruto, the yellow flash, Springfield, that should be a challenge. I'll get my Heim back someday, Michi, I hope, he whispered. Takahata just gave him a small smile as they entered the car to get to Mahora. Zero, hey Michi, tell the old man I'm here. I smell a squirt and I just have to scare him, he. Alright Naruto-kun, just don't shave too many years off his life, the older man said while waving over his shoulder. As Naruto walked down the academy's halls, he was suddenly hit from behind by a silver blur. When he came to his senses, he saw a petite girl with silver and red eyes. Are you all right, miss? I have to tell sensei and the class, she said in a panic voice. Easy there, why don't you tell me your name and maybe I can help you? I'm sorry, I'm Izumi Akko of class 3A, what's your name, sir? Akko asked as a blush came to her face as she looked at the handsome blonde teen she landed on. You call me Naruto, Akko-chan. Her blush got darker at the chan. Come on, let's get you to your class, and remember, take it slow. As they came to the room, Akko went in and told the class. Everyone stampeded to the infirmary. Akko quickly looked around to see the mystery blonde to be gone, but then she ran to check on her friend again. As Naruto entered the infirmary, he could help but notice a pigtail orange hair girl with heterochromatic eyes just like him. He had to force back the urge to hug her after finally seeing her for so long. But for now he had a brother to scare. My squirt, to be surrounded by what 30 cute girls, man, every guy would envy you, he said right behind his little brother who was near the back of the room loudly. As the girls turned to see who spoke, they could help but blush at the blonde hair heterochromatic-eyed hottie in front of them. Then Ayaka ruined the moment. Now see here, you. I don't know how you got here, but I will not let some ruffian insult Negi-sensei like that, apologize to him. The entire time she was talking, Naruto was just blocking her out and was looking at the girls in the room. What was that? I don't speak Shota-kan, said Naruto. This caused Ayaka to scream at the insult. Everyone else was laughing at their Ainsho. So I'm not the only one to think so, thought Asuna, though she did notice something wet on her cheek. She wiped it and saw a tear. Asuna, are you okay? You're crying? Asked the long-haired brunette. Yay. Don't worry, Kanoka probably got something in my eye, replied the orangette. Naruto ni-san, screamed a red and green blur. Luckily for Naruto, he caught the offending blur so he didn't fall to the ground. Dang neg. No need to yell, I'm right here, ya know. So how ye been? He questioned. Only for Asuna to interrupt. Hey Negi, who's blonde? She asked as for everyone who was drooling over him wanted to know. Oh, sorry about that. This is my older brother Naruto Springfield. Yo. Then the gates opened. Yelled the girls. How old are you? Where are you from? Do you have a girlfriend? Can I get your number? Are you really Negi's brother? Quiet, he said in a low commanding voice, and everyone stopped. Negi was shocked at how his ni-san stopped the girls' bombardment with just one word. Yes, Naruto indeed thanked his years as Hokage. Now I will answer those questions. I am 17. Just as Negi, I am from Wales. No, I do not. When I get settled in, maybe. And yes, he put Negi in a headlock. I'm aka Baka's red idiot brother, he said as Negi struggled get out only to be let go a second later. Now why don't we go back to class so your friend can rest? As everyone shuffled out, Naruto sensed an odd magical energy coming from Maki, and it seemed Negi noticed as well. He would have to talk to Takamichi. Later that night on Sakura Lane, a young purple-haired girl was walking back to the dorm when all of a sudden an ominous wind blew. Seat number 27, Miyazaki Nodoka, isn't it? Sorry, but I'll be taking some of that blood of yours, said the person on the lamp post as it swooped towards her as the long black cape and that hat gave the person a menacing look. Kyah! Nodoka yelled before the fear overcame her and she fainted. The figure grinned evilly as it neared the downed girl before being interrupted by a yell. Hold it right there, Negi yelled as he flew in on his staff. Ros telephone ma scir undecim spiritus aerialis, vinculum facti inimicum capiant, sagita magica, air capturi. Negi incanted as he launched a dozen arrows of wind at the mysterious vampire. He figured it out quickly? The figure asked incredulously as it took out a small vial. Reflexio, frozen barrier. It mumbled as the arrows hit the vial and it exploded, deflecting the attack completely. My spell was completely blocked, Negi said surprised. No doubt about it, the culprit is a mage. Negi ran over to the unconscious Nodoka to check her for injuries before turning to the mysterious attacker, whose hat had been blown off by the exchange of magic exposing her face. You're from my class, Evangeline-san. Negi yelled incredulously as he held Nodoka in his arms. The now recognized Evangeline simply laughed at her teacher's shocked expression. It's the beginning of the term after all, so let's exchange formal greetings, sensei. Or should I say, Negi Springfield. She finished with a sinister grin as she brought up one of her hands to her mouth. To have such power despite being only 10, just as one would expect from being one of that man's sons. Negi looked surprised at her words before asking Jay, just why are you doing this? You're a mage just like me. Evangeline simply chuckled at the boy's naivete before taking out 2 more vials of strange liquid and throwing them at Negi. Freeze lance. Tempestas of meus pectus pectoris. Locos umbri regnans scathich. In manum meum dado iaculum demonium cum spinis triginta. Iaculatio fulguris. At that a large javelin made of lightning flew at Eva, who jumped away just in time as the concrete blew up where the offending lightning landed. She turned to see her attacker, who was a blonde hair, both 2 different colored eyes with a staff, 5, in hand. She heard him chuckle, then he spoke. Well, not every night I get the pleasure to meet the dark Evangel. For the proud Evangeline A.K. McDowell to be attacking a 10-year-old, how the mighty have fallen, isn't that right, Chibi-chan? Said with a Springfield grin. For a brief second Eva thought she saw Nagi, but then realized who he was and recomposed herself right before he dropped the bomb. What? Did you just call me? Evangeline was saying in a dark tone but was interrupted by the blonde. You say something, Chibi-chan? Asked the blonde. That did it. Forget the brat, the teen son of the bastard was going down, freeze lance. Naruto was calm as the bottle sailed towards, as he was certain that his magical barriers could easily stand against the attack. But it seemed Negi didn't agree with him or didn't realize it as he used a disarming spell on the bottle. It seemed as they exploded, causing a strange reaction, ripping some of his and Nodoka's cloths. Meanwhile, Negi was busy apologizing to him and the unconscious Nodoka, while Evangeline was pissed that her attack was stopped and was about to attack. But as she heard voices of people nearby, she decided to leave, promising vengeance and death later. The duo of Kanoka and Asuna entered the clearing to find Negi looked at the direction where the duo thought they had found someone, run of 2. Their eyes lingered to the side to find Naruto kneeling in front of a naked girl. Naruto-kun is the vampire, shouted Kanoka as she looked at Naruto with a red face. It is nothing like that, Kanoka-san. Ni-san was here to help me capture the culprit, said Negi, trying to diffuse any misunderstandings. I am going after the person who's been causing these incidents. There is no need to worry, so please head home first. As he dashed at amazing speed in the direction of Evangeline. Damn, that Gaki, thought Naruto as he saw Negi dash off after Evangeline. Asuna, go after that baka. He will need your help, shouted Naruto as he looked at Asuna. Asuna nodded and ran after them. Naruto-kun, what is going on here? And why is Nodoka naked? Asked a completely confused Kanoka. Don't worry, Kanoka-san, let's get her back to the dorm and I'll explain later, okay? Kanoka hesitated a little, but if he was Negi's brother he must be a good person. As Naruto make a quick clone in the forest and switch with it when Kanoka wasn't looking and headed towards where he sensed Negi. As he arrived he saw Asuna protecting Negi and then he decided to join in by using Koku Shundo, Void Instant Movement. Hello Eva, I suggest you back off. You're outnumbered and outgunned. What are you talking about, idiot? Eva was so pissed at the older Springfield for ruining her plan. I'm sure you've heard some of my exploits. While I could take your partner, Asuna, and Negi could hold you long enough till I'm done with her. So I'll let you go for today, Eva. Now shoo, off to bed for you, young lady. Of course this was a bluff. Negi was too scared to do much and Asuna could only protect him for so long with Eva and her ice spells. With him fighting her partner was true though, but because she was Eva's partner she must be strong and he didn't have time to waste with endangering Asuna and Negi. Eva just turned red and saw that he was right. Let's go, Chachimaru. I will be back for you, Springfield, just you wait. As she and Chachimaru flew away. Wait. This is the 8th floor. Asuna yelled as she made to go after them, before Naruto gripped her shoulder. Don't bother, they'll already be gone. His words sparked something in Asuna as she turned on the two brothers. What is wrong with you two? Trying to catch bad guys without me? She then turned to Naruto and you. What's the big idea of waiting until the last second to show up? What if Evangeline had done something before I stepped in? I was helping Kanoka-san bring Nodoka-san to the dorm after checking she was all right. Asuna looked sheepish at that for she forgot about it in the heat of the moment. Sorry and thank you for that. To which he nodded too. Asuna turned to Negi. Negi, are you okay? Your neck is bleeding a little. Asuna remarked, concerned as she tried to comfort the small boy. Negi latched on to the older girl as he cried, his eyes out, pressing his face into her chest. Asuna-san. I was so scared. As Asuna tried to dislodge Negi from her bosom and looked Naruto in the eyes. Their heterochromatic eyes meet and Asuna couldn't figure out this strange nostalgia by looking into them. Both then turned to look at the moon and star like when they were young, wonder what to do next. The next morning Naruto woke up from the couch at Takamichi's place until they found him a permanent one. What really pissed him off was how the old man let Negi go around the campus with one of his father's greatest enemies walking around and not telling him about it. The other problem, how Aishun's own daughter didn't know anything about magic. He was going to talk to the old man about that one, big time. After getting into his usually garb he walked to the dean's office. Hey old man, sorry for intruding but, we need to talk, he said as he walked right through the door, not really caring what the dean was doing, and sat in a chair with a small glare. Why, hello Naruto-kun. Perfect timing, I have a room waiting for now after your short arrival. What do you need to talk about? He said, already knowing what's coming. Well, I don't know, how about the fact the Dark Evangel herself is here with 2 Springfields within feeding distance? Are you people idiots? Never telling Negi about her or giving even a warning. What if Asu-chan or I were never there? Please tell me, with a growl in his throat. Are you done? Said the dean with a calm demeanor. Yeah, sorry, needed to get that out. I got one more thing but, I'll save it after you're done. Naruto stayed as he relaxed into the chair. It quite alright and personal, we never thought she would be this bold to pull something like this. He was retorted with a snort. Old man, that girl would do anything to get out of here, and getting rid of one of the 2 children her condemner had would be icing on the cake, he said with a sigh. Indeed, now what was your second inquiry? Why doesn't Aishun's kid not recognize magic? His tone was deadly serious. He went through the war, as you know. He didn't wish for Kanoka to see our world. I heard she has huge potential. Potential people in Kyoto would kill for to use. He does know that the second she steps out of here she's a target, and not knowing how to utilize that power leaves her vulnerable and makes her an even bigger target. Why does he think Dad had taught me at a young age? I was in the same position she is in. Now I'm strong enough to protect myself. I want to tell her, but, out of respect for Aishun, I didn't. What do you intend to do now? Well, set up a meeting this afternoon, because we are telling her. She is going to need family around for this, and I'll start teaching her the basics and more if she wants. I'm not letting Aishun's fears let him get his daughter killed or used. Besides, what better way to make a second generation of Alarubra than with the children of the first, right? Naruto spoke with a smirk. The dean smiled kindly. I will, and thank you, but you will be the one to explain it to him. No problem, I heard he's gone a bit soft, and having his daughter hopefully agreeing will get Daddy to calm down. He did send one of his own to watch her, right? Ho ho, yes, Kanoka does have Aishin around her finger, and yes, in fact you're rooming with her guardian. So anything you need for me to do? Yes, would you become Negi's assistant, just to watch over him? I heard for Takamichi-kun you were as or more intelligent than young Negi-kun, so how about it? Of course, I don't have a job and need some cash, so yay, why not? Excellent. Shizuna-kun, please bring Naruto-kun to Negi-kun's class. The dean said over the phone, and a minute later his busty assistant brought Naruto to class 3A. Wah! Naruto saw Negi talking to Chachimaru, so Naruto made his way over. Is there something wrong over here? He asked as the two turned to him. There is nothing wrong, Naruto-san. I was just here to inform Negi-sensei that master would not be attending class today. I see, is she sick? Chachimaru shook her head. No, she simply does not wish to come to class today. Naruto sighed at how the girl acted. Thank you for informing him, Chachimaru-san. Chachimaru simply bowed and moved to her seat. Class 1 would like you to meet your new assistant teacher. Please come in, Naruto-kun, spoke Shizuna. Hello everyone, I hope we can get along well together. He gave a small bow. Ayaka rose from her desk. Naruto-sensei, I would like to formally apologize for my rudeness towards you yesterday. I am so sorry, said Ayaka with a bow. It's okay, you didn't do anything wrong. You were just defending my brother, thank you, he said with a smile which caused a majority of the class to blush. Oh yay, Kanoka-chan, the dean wanted me to bring to his office later for something, so after classes we'll go. He got a confused look and a nod from the bubbly brunette. As class went on, Naruto saw that a few of the students had noticed that Negi was distracted and began gossiping about what caused his mood change as Negi sighed and stared forward without really looking. Don't you think that Negi-kun looks a little off? He's just staring into space and all he's been doing is sighing. They said he was looking for a partner. So maybe he's still looking. Wait, if Negi-kun's look for one, then maybe Naruto-kun is too. This started a whole new chain of gossip. Sensei, I've finished the reading. Akko interrupted, bringing Negi out from his stupor. Ah, good work, Izumi-san. Negi said softly, before adopting a questioning look. I know it's abrupt, but I've got a question for you. If Izumi-san were to choose a partner, would you turn down a 10-year-old boy? He asked, not noticing the class's shocked looks at their teacher's apparent forwardness. That, sensei, this is so sudden, that'd be somehow hard, because I've only reached third year so far. A blushing Akko replied as she began fidgeting. But, I mean, I don't have any specific boy at the moment, so, she trailed off and gave Naruto a quick glance as Negi nodded and turned his attention to Nodoka. How about you, Miyazaki-san? He asked as the girl blushed heavily and struggled to get a sentence out. She attempted to say something to Negi's awkward question. Nodoka, this is your chance. Just say, it would be okay with me, were the thoughts of her two best friends Haruna and Yu. Nodoka was unable to answer as Asakura got up from her seat and was in front of Negi with a grin. Negi-sensei, I have some welcome news for you. Because our class is spaced out, I'd say about 4/5 of them don't have boyfriends. I did research. So if either you or Naruto are looking for girlfriends, then you've got over 20 various girls to choose from. At the mention of Naruto's name, almost half the class turned to said teenager, who was trying his hardest to pretend that he wasn't listening. No, that's not what I meant. A now fully attentive Negi yelled, before suddenly becoming quiet again and excusing himself from the class, Asuna right behind him. Naruto sighed as he made his way to the front of the room so as to follow the two before he was bombarded with questions from concerned students. What's going on with Negi-sensei? Akira asked as the rest of the girls also voiced their concerns. Naruto held up his hands and the girls began to quiet down. Girls, there is nothing to worry about. Negi is just going through a rough time in his life. He's just bugging out about finding a partner, he explained. But does that mean you're looking for a partner too, Naruto-kun? Yuna asked and blushed as he turned his gaze to her and smiled. It's just a little something our family does, Yuna-chan, usually not until we are older, but Negi has always been immature for his age, so he's probably rushing into it. Well, what about you? She asked with a blush, the other girls listening intently for his response. Does that mean you are looking for a partner too? Naruto coughed a bit with a small blush. Well, I don't really need one right this second, but, who knows? He said as he gave a smile. The girls blushed red and Naruto retreated. Naruto caught up with Asuna and Negi just in time to hear the end of their conversation. That girl wouldn't pop out and eat you in broad daylight, Negi. Asuna attempted to assure the 10-year-old, but he remained unconvinced. Even if you say that. Negi began before Naruto walked up behind them. I don't think she'll strike so quickly after failing. Most like bind her time and restore what power she used and hit on the next full moon. Don't forget her powers are sealed too. Naruto said as he put a hand on Negi's head. Yeah, and besides, if she shows up again then I'll drive her off, so cheer up, Asuna said beside him. As Negi continued to whine, the group didn't notice Kaide, Akira, Mana, Kufei behind them decked out in ninja gear. Naruto and Negi found themselves bound with bags placed over their heads as they were carried off. Asuna turned around and saw that both boys were gone. While the brothers were being kidnapped, Naruto was wondering how the hell they snuck up on him. He began to panic a little when he felt himself being stripped of his clothes down to his boxers and thrown into a large body of water. He quickly burst from the surface and took note that both he and Negi had been thrown into the dorm bathhouse. Ni-san? What just happened? Negi asked as he took a few deep breaths. Welcome Naruto-sensei. Negi-sensei. Both boys turned around to see Class 3A clad in nothing but swimsuits, causing Negi to blush and Naruto unable to do anything but stare at the sight. Absently, Naruto noted that there was a large banner that read, "Party to cheer up Negi-sensei." What? Negi asked incredulously as the girls got closer. It's because Negi was looking all depressed that we decided to throw you a party, Shina shouted cheerfully. Before either boy could say anything else, they found themselves surrounded by the girls offering them omasake and sweets. As Negi began to tear up and thank them all, Naruto turned to the girls that had surrounded him. Thank you all for doing this. I was afraid that Negi would be a wreck for the next few. Naruto smiled at the girls around him, blushed before he saw Ayaka walking up to him. It's only natural for students to want to help out their teacher, right Naruto-sensei? Naruto smiled as Ayaka handed him a glass of omasake, then Kazumi spoke. By the way, Naruto-sensei, about your partner. Naruto felt a chill going down his spine as the other girls took notice of what was happening. I'm sure many girl would jump at the chance too, but before she could finish, the girls swarmed Naruto that were fighting over him. Sneaking away from the fighting girls, he looked over at Negi to see him also being swarmed by girl looking to be his partner. Naruto moved to the side of the bath. He heard a scream. Kaya. A mouse. No, it's an ermine. Naruto stood up and looked over at the girls to see the majority of them without bathing suits. He blushed at the zipping white line stripping all the girls. Asuna came running in and noticed all the nude women. What the hell are you guys all in here naked? And you even brought those two along, she yelled as she pointed at Negi, who was still surrounded by topless girls and the frozen Naruto. Asuna, you're misunderstanding the situation. We were having a party to cheer up Negi-kun. Dang, another crazy day, Asuna sighed as she, Negi, and Naruto made their way to the dorms. Naruto nodded slowly as Negi smiled and rubbed the back of his head, but thanks to everyone I've really cheered up. Asuna sighed at Negi before turning to Naruto with a questioning look. So why are you following us, Naruto? She asked as the other teen had been very spaced out for the last minutes that they'd been walking. Well, no reason really. Hey Negi, did that ermine look a little familiar to you? He asked before they were interrupted. Good to see that you remember me, Naruto Aniki. Asuna froze as she and Negi looked around suspiciously as Naruto looked down at the spot in front of them. Down here, a small voice called out as Asuna and Negi looked and saw a small white ermine holding a bra in his mouth. It's me, Negi Aniki, Naruto Aniki, Albert Chamomile. Chamo. Negi yelled excitedly as he knelt and hugged the small ermine. Asuna mostly surprised to see an ermine talk, as Naruto was shaking his head thinking, hide your panties, bras, and other unmentionables people. This is a flashback 5 years ago on a hill in Wales. An ermine named Albert Chamomile frowned as he currently had one of his hind legs stuck in a small trap. For me, an ermine with a lineage comparable to Kate Sith, the legendary ghost cat, he said to himself as he gently tugged on his leg. To fall into a trap in the wilderness, this is pretty pathetic. I can't be a man among men like this, he yelled with a tick mark as he attempted to force his leg out of the trap. I'll just get out of here with one mighty pull. Suddenly he heard rustling from some nearby bushes as he screamed, I'm sorry, don't eat me. It's fine. A kind voice said to him, as he turned and saw a 5-year-old boy with red hair. I won't tell the adults who set the trap. The boy said as he helped Chamo get his leg out. Don't get caught again, okay? He said with a kind smile, I'll heal you with a spell that my brother taught me a few days ago. He allowed Chamo to run into the bushes as they heard the hunter approaching. Hey Negi, the prey escaped. The hunter said as he bonked Negi over the head, not seeing Chamo watching from the bushes. This guy, he's a real man amongst men. Chamo thought as he cried tears of happiness. Zero, I do hope you enjoyed this segment of The Life of Chamo Zero. And that's how I met Negi Aniki. Chamo finished with a smile, and since then he and Naruto Aniki have helped me out a couple of times. How nostalgic, Chamo-kun, you really have grown, haven't you? Negi asked with a smile as Naruto shook hands with the small rodent. One of us has Aniki, but you haven't made much progress, have you? Chamo pointed out as he shook one of his paws. Huh? With what? Negi asked. A partner, of course. You have to find a good partner or else you won't look good even if you do become a mage. Chamo said as he pointed at Naruto. No doubt that Naruto Aniki has already found his partner in the time I've been gone, and he'll probably get more. You need to step up your game. Well, I'd figured that I needed to start looking, but Negi trailed off as he blushed. Is that so? Chamo questioned as he took out a cigarette that Naruto lit with a small fire spell. Well, now that I'm here everything will be fine. Your guy's Oni-chan asked me to help you out. Really? The two brothers asked in unison, although Naruto was a little skeptical while Negi was relieved. I was at the baths just now investigating. Looks like we've got some great raw material to work with, not a loser in the bunch. Your destined partner is definitely there. Chamo said excitedly as. How can you know about that kind of thing? Asuna asked suspiciously, making Chamo sweat slightly. I'm just that good at this kind of stuff. The Ermine responded nervously before grabbing Negi's class roster. There is no doubt in my mind that 3A has what it takes to be Aniki's destined partner. Suddenly Kanoka walked into the room clad only in a towel. It's pretty noisy in here. Did someone come over? She asked as Negi shushed Chamo, who was just staring at Kanoka. It's nothing, Kanoka-chan. I just wanted to check in on my little brother before I came to pick you up for the meeting. Naruto said as he stood up from the table, a light blush on his cheeks at the sight of Kanoka in only a towel with her hair tied up. Oh, hello Naruto-kun, Kanoka said with a blush, as she only had a towel to cover herself up. Then she noticed Chamo sitting on the table. Kawaii. Is he your pet, Negi-kun, or maybe Naruto-kun's? She asked excitedly as she hugged the small mammal and brought him outside, where he was an instant hit with the other girls. After Negi had gone outside and gotten the okay from the rest of the students to keep Chamo in his room, Negi thanked the girls as he went inside the dorm where Asuna and Naruto were waiting. Searching for a partner might be easier now, Negi said excitedly as he rubbed the back off his head. Naruto nodded as he sat down at the table in the living room. Maybe we should send Nikane a thank you letter for sending Chamo here. Chamo's head perked up at their words as he rushed over to Negi. Aniki. It's fine, you don't really need to send a letter. Noticing the two boys' skeptical looks, Chamo quickly made his way to the open roster on the table. The truth is, in that group of girls just now there was one whose partner suitability made me think, that's got to be it. He called out as he placed a paw on the roster. Negi, with Naruto and Asuna looking over his shoulder, followed Chamo's hand to a picture of Nodoka. It's this girl. She's the one that said of my censor. Chamo yelled adamantly as the other three looked shocked. Miyazaki-san is my destined partner candidate. Negi thought as he picked up the roster. Certainly I had some thoughts that way, but Negi blushed as he remembered all the incidents involving that specific girl. Nodoka-san. I guess I could see that since she seems to like him already, and she has had experience with magic, but she had no clue on what was happening. Mused Naruto as he observed Chamo teasing Negi on his opinion of the shy bookworm. Anyway, let me think about it, Negi yelled as he ran out into the hallway embarrassed. I understand, it's a little early for you, Aniki. Chamo called out after him. That was close. Chamo thought as Asuna walked over to the mail drop. Hey. There's another letter for Negi from your guy's older sister here. Asuna said, walking back into the living room, not noticing that Chamo began sweating. An-san. Asuna turned to the sweating Ermin with a quizzical look. I'll inform Negi and Iki of the letter. Okay. Taken aback by adamant the Ermin was about delivering a letter, Asuna did as he asked and handed the envelope to the Ermin. Barely catching the Ermin bolt out the door. Slightly suspicious, Asuna turned to Naruto to see him making his own way to the door. Hey Naruto, said Blonde, paused in his walk and turned to the girl. Do you think we can trust him? He's a little, she said, letting it linger in the air. He can be a bit, well, sneaky at times. Shaking his head, Naruto turned to the still waiting Asuna and smiled. Chamo may be a little hyper and pervy, but he would never do anything to harm Negi. At least not intentionally. He has both mine and Negi's complete trust. Just don't leave any unmentionables lying around, he said to make it clear to her. He walked out of the room and headed to the dean's office with Kanoka. The meeting went well to him. A few tears and a yes to an apprenticeship to him, with a loving family hug and a kiss on the cheek for him. He walked back to the dorm to meet his roommate when he noticed Asuna. Asu-chan. What's wrong? He asked as she blushed, wondering why she felt warm from the name and spoke nothing of it with the situation at hand. She held up a crumpled envelope. This is the letter that Chamo said he was going to give Negi, she said, handing him the letter. Opening the envelope, Naruto paled as the letter revealed Nikane warning Negi about Chamo's actions back home. He even went after Nikane. Naruto thought with a sweat drop as he turned to Asuna as the recording ended. Asu-chan, we need to find Negi, right now. Both teens were about to run off before they saw a bright light from behind the middle school dorms. The two arrived just in time to see a blushing Negi and Nodoka standing on a glowing rune circle, Chamo off to the side with his back towards them. Realizing what was happening, Naruto bopped the perv, but Asuna was quicker and started crushing Chamo beneath her hand and canceling the spell. The sudden loss of warmth from the magical circle coupled with the arrival of Naruto and Asuna was too much for the shy bookworm and caused her to faint in a blushing Negi's arms. Asuna-san, Ni-san. What are you two doing here? Negi asked as he held the unconscious Nodoka. Naruto sighed as Asuna was keeping Chamo from escaping. Well Negi, it seems that Chamo here was lying when he said that Nikane asked him to come here. Naruto handed Negi the crumpled envelope as Asuna walked over, Chamo held tightly in her hands. Apparently he fled here after being convicted of various crimes, the most serious being 2,000 counts of stealing underwear back home. Naruto trailed off as Negi turned to the panicking Chamo. Chamo-kun, is this true? He asked, distressed as the Ermin tried to defend himself. Aniki? There's an explanation for this. I was framed. Thus the sob story of the century was made. Chamo finished as he lit a cigarette and began walking away. I'll turn myself in, you don't need to worry anymore. Although concerned as to what would happen to the small mammal, Naruto's thoughts were in sync with Asuna's in wondering who would believe in such a ridiculous tale. Sadly, it was Negi. A sucker born every minute, Asuna mumbled as Negi and Chamo embraced, after the young boy offered to let Chamo be his familiar. I agree, but at least Negi will have another familiar face from home, Naruto said with a smile before frowning and looking over to Nodoka. Now all we have to do is drop Nodoka off somewhere safe. Naruto and Negi said goodbye to Asuna as they flew towards the school building to drop Nodoka off at the lockers and erase the partner incident from her mind. 0 later 0 as Naruto knocked on his soon-to-be room. The door opened to meet Sakurazaki Setsuna. Hello Setsuna-san. I'm sure the dean gave you a call to let me know I'm rooming with you. Hi Kano-sama did. Please come in, said the swordswoman. Naruto felt that Setsuna was a bit too easy of letting a boy sleep in her room, but he just chalked it up as something from her training and such. Also he had to keep in mind that the fact that she carried her sword everywhere, and that scared him a bit. As they were walking to school he saw Negi being approached by Iva and Chachimaru. Naruto told Setsuna to go ahead and he decided to enter the conversation. ND, don't even think about asking Takamichi or the dean for help. If you do, your other students may be at risk, if you catch my drift, spoke the chibi immortal. Come on Eva-chan, no need to so serious. I guess since you're such a frail and weak little girl it's understandable that you need to skip, said Naruto as he approached them. Eva's blood boiled at the weak comment as she turned and faced the firstborn Springfield child and that stupid grin of his. "What do you want, idiot?" she asked rudely. "What? I can't check on my favorite chibified immortal now. That's hurts right here," he said as he pointed to his heart. By this time Negi ran away with Asuna and Chamo following him. Why you're just like that bastard." A grinning blonde copy of him. She stayed as she huffed away and Chachimaru bowed to him. He then went to see Negi only to see his brother and Asuna standing on a Pactio circle. "Pactio?" Chamo called out from nearby as Asuna kissed Negi on the forehead. He was planning was to kill Chamo and making it look like an accident. "Ah. San. What's with the kiss on the forehead? That's so half-hearted." Chamo berated the blushing girl as Naruto walked up to them. "It doesn't matter, Chamo, since it's only a provincial contract, although I'm a little surprised that she agreed to become Negi's partner at all. Do I have to worry about you becoming like Iancho Asu-chan?" Asuna blushed and looked away. Chamo nodded absently as the two recently made partners talked about a battle strategy. "You're right, Naruto Aniki. As long as Negi Aniki has something else to protect himself. Now that he has a partner we can take down that vampire." Chamo yelled as he prepared to run off, before Naruto placed a hand on his head. "Maybe after class, Chamo. Don't want our students to freak out if we don't show up, they're pretty crazy like that." Thinking back to his few encounters with the brothers' odd class, Chamo couldn't help but nod as he headed to the classroom riding on Naruto's shoulder as he walked behind Asuna and Negi. "Agreed, Aniki, if they're really like Negi Aniki told me then we better not risk it, besides I already came up with a plan that we can do after school." "Sorry Chamo, I'm tutoring a student who needs some help later." The Ermine deflated a bit from that because he knew of Naruto's reputation and it would help them greatly, but he guessed that Naruto was loyal to his students and helped them out at times. Today was the first day of Kanoka magic lessons and Naruto was surprised as the bubbly brunette was brilliant at the bookwork of it. She had told him she is one of the smartest students of the class and that he had no doubt of. He had her work on control first and then some basic spells. He wanted the basics in her way before the move to anything offensive or working on barriers. She was curious about him and asked for all kinds of stories about him and some about her father. Then they were packing up and getting ready to go when she asked where he was staying, and when he mentioned Setsuna, that's when they had a big talk and he informed her that he would talk to Setsuna on her behalf. So Negi, how did the battle plan go? "IJ just couldn't do it, Ni-san. Chachimaru-san is a student and as a teacher I have to protect my students even if they're an enemy," spoke Negi with some resolve in his voice. "As a battle strategy what you did was foolish. You had your enemy in the line of fire but you decide to send your attack back and hurt yourself. You showed mercy to an enemy whose master wishes you dead and as well as your brother. I'm proud of you." Naruto spoke sternly and as he said the last sentence there was nothing but pride in his voice. Was the response of the three. "You did what I exactly would have done, all but the attacking part, but you valued your student over yourself, which is a good quality to have. Now get some rest and I'll see you in the morning." With a few words of good night Naruto entered his room to talk to Setsuna of what he had learned today. "Hello sensei." Setsuna gave a small bow as she was cleaning her sword. "Hello Setsuna, I have a question for you." Setsuna raised an eyebrow but put down her sword to talk to her sensei. "Why do you choose protect Kanoka-chan from the shadows, Setsuna? I had failed her once when we were children but I dedicated my life to the sword to protect Ojo-sama." "Yes, Kanoka told of that incident when I was teaching her the basics of magic when your name came up." Setsuna looked wide-eyed and clenched her teeth. Why did you tell someone as kind as Ojo-sama that she should not be a part of our violent world?" "The chief did that for safety." Naruto cut her off. Aishin was being a fool, by leaving her blind where she could have been taught the ways to control her power and protect herself and probably wouldn't have to think that her best friend hates her and her father shipping her away for no valid reason. With equal fury to hers. "That doesn't mean you have the right to tell her." "The chief would have." "Would have what?" "Tell her eventually after she may have gotten involved with a magical incident. Do not play naive with me Setsuna, you and I both know there are people out there who want her power and you cannot protect her forever. You may be strong but, if someone on my level were your opponent you would know the outcome I hope. I would give my life for Ojo-sama. Do not dare tell me otherwise. You may be the Yellow Flash. And I may not be at your level but I will fight anyone be they god, demon, or the devil himself for her. Then why hid from her Setsuna? She needs a friend, her best friend to be with her, not hiding in the shadows to protect her. When I protect my charge I am right beside her no matter what, she is my friend and I'm hers. I don't know how, I'm afraid if I fail her again, I don't want to be useless again. Setsuna said in a whisper as the heated argument cooled down. Feels better to get the pressure off every once in a while, don't it? Naruto said with a grin. Was the only intelligent response she could give. Setsuna-chan, all the stuff you do for her is a good and loyal thing to do, but try to be closer to her or just might lose your friend forever. Night, Setsuna-chan. Naruto said with a yawn. Setsuna had many questions plaguing her mind, but one spoke out. How come one came to see what was going on? Silencing seal. Oh. Zero. It was an awkward morning for the two, but Setsuna did thank him for the advice. Naruto got ready to visit Negi when he saw his brother flying from the dorm. Idiot. Flying in the middle of the day, on a weekend no less. He ran out and bumped into Asuna and fell on top of her. OWW, sorry about that, in a real hurry, so can you please move? She stopped as she saw Naruto on top of her and a blush came to her face. Why does this feel so nice, like I could just melt in his EMBEE? Hold it, think of Takahata-sensei, as she quickly shook her head. Naruto saw their position and quick flew off. I'm so sorry, Asu-chan. Not really, I saw Negi flying and was going after him. Asuna accepted that because she was doing it too. So what now? What? No way we can catch him. I could, but I did tell him to spread his wing. Get rid of Chamo and have a day with him. Yay, day with him it is. What happened? They told him about the incident and he just sighed. Okay, new game plan. Chamo, I need you to go around looking up anything you can find on Chibi-chan's seal. I want a report by the end of the day and no before or after, no matter how much ya got. Okay. The Ermine nodded, happy to have his second brother on board, and went gather the info. So what are we doing then? Asked Asuna with a light blush as she stated it that way. We are going to train you up a bit. Negi told me you're fast and strong, but, from what I hear, a bit unrefined. So I'm going to help you with some basics. He pulled out his Pactio card. Asu-chan, you have a card like this, right? Asuna looked at the card and thought about it, and it looked like the card that Takahata-sensei gave and said a friend of hers made it. She couldn't remember said friend, but every time she looked at it she felt like crying as she had forgotten something important, so she kept it hidden. She went to retrieve it, but instead of crying she felt a bit of happiness, like she finally found something she lost. She was starting to think the card was a bit possessed or bipolar. That is a magical artifact, Asu-chan. It's a tool forged by your soul to best fit you. So we're going into the forest to practice it, okay? Wow, Takahata-sensei said an old friend gave me this when I was younger. I hope I can meet him and thank him for it. She said with a smile. Someone gave her a tool to help her protect Negi and maybe even Naruto, and that made her feel warm inside. Yay, hopefully you can soon. He thought with a sad smile. Okay, let's go then, Asu-chan. Hope you can keep up, he said with a smirk. Please, blonde, you're the one who's going to be keeping up. So they raced to the forest and Naruto created a clone to go tutor Kanoka while he could finally be with his Harem, just like when they were kids. Zero, as class started, Naruto patently waited for his brother to show up. He happened to be staring out the window and the girls were looking at him and signing with blushes on their face of how dreamy he was. Good morning. Is Evangeline-san here? Asked Negi as he entered the classroom. But the cheerfulness of Negi was quickly dashed aside as he heard that Evangeline was not present because she had caught flu, which surprised Negi and also to some extent Naruto too. Negi decided to dash out of class, which Naruto thought that he intended to go visit Evangeline to see whether it was true or not about her catching flu. After all, she was a Shinso. Naruto walked out of the class muttering about stupid Gaki forgetting things as the girls giggled hearing him. He caught up to Negi on the staircase as he grabbed Negi by the collar of his coat and flung him on his shoulder. Wah, Ni-san, please put me down, I have to go see Evangeline-san, to give her the challenge letter, said Negi. Challenge letter? Thought Naruto as he had to wonder what Negi did to get the balls to challenge Eva. Yeah, but you got a class to teach, you can't go ditching them, said Naruto as he walked carrying Negi on his shoulder. As for the letter, I want to check if Eva-chan's okay, said Naruto, to which Negi nodded. All the while he carried Negi on his shoulders back to the class. The girls around them were giggling at the funny situation between the two brothers. Negi apologized for forgetting his teacher's duty as he then handed Naruto a letter as the blonde sensei left the class. Zero at the vampire bun. Zero, who is it? Naruto heard the voice Chachimaru call out. He turned around to find Chachimaru dressed in a maid outfit. Naruto-san, good morning, said Chachimaru, surprised to see the blonde sensei here. Good morning, Cha-chan, said Naruto with a smile on his face. Do you have some business with Master? Well, not for me, but I heard Chibi-chan caught the flu. Hi, Master is ill, said Chachimaru. So the info is true, she truly does lose most of her power, muttered Naruto, as it seemed his assumptions were indeed true, as Chachimaru wouldn't lie about Evangeline's health. I'm completely fine. Naruto heard the voice of Evangeline coming from the stairs as he looked up to find her leaning on the staircase railings. One glance at Evangeline told Naruto that she was certainly not well, even though she was trying to portray otherwise, as he asked, So Chibi-chan, you feeling okay? You look like you're dead. Naruto laughed at his joke. Shut up. I am completely fine, growled Evangeline, as she really hated the nickname the blonde used for her, but deep down she felt happy for his concern. That aside, what is the reason you are here for, idiot? Asked Evangeline. I was concerned about your health, Chibi-chan, said Naruto, but Evangeline gave him a look. Once again you wound me, my dear Eva-chan. If you must know that one of the reasons I am here is because I am concerned about you. The main reason I was here is to hand you this challenge letter, Naruto was saying, but didn't get to complete his sentence as Evangeline interrupted. Foo, you think just because my magic is weak at this moment you could defeat me, said Evangeline with an angry, annoyed voice. No, it's not mine, said Naruto. Evangeline didn't listen what he had to say as she stood gathering all of her remaining magic with test tubes filled with catalyst potion, as she said in a menacing voice, well, whatever, I was looking to get you for taunting me with that damn nickname. You can at least let me finish. Naruto watched as Evangeline gather as much as magical energy as possible to attack him. Just as he had felt all of Eva's gathered magic she had collected left her as she fell towards the floor, losing consciousness. Naruto quickly moved as he caught her in mid-fall before she hit the ground and was surprised to feel that she was burning with fever. She's burning up, spoke Naruto as he felt Evangeline's forehead. Naruto-san, please let Master rest on the bed on the second floor. Apart from flu, Master also has allergies to pollen, said Chachimaru, who now stood by his side checking on Evangeline. Naruto silently nodded to Chachimaru's request as he carried Evangeline bridal style towards her bed on the second floor. Here he placed Evangeline on the bed as Chachimaru arranged the bed to her master's comfort. Naruto-san, I am going to meet a trusted contact at a university hospital in order to obtain some effective medicine. Can you look after Master until I return? I have to feed the cats too, requested Chachimaru. Yes, she is my student and hopefully a friend when all this nonsense of hers is over with. Sure you can trust me? Said Naruto. Yes, since you are a teacher and I had gathered that since you didn't attack me the other day that you do not wish to harm your students, Chachimaru stated logically. He heard the voice of Negi from downstairs apologizing to Chachimaru from downstairs, as it seemed the Gaki arrived here to see what was taking him so long. Ni-san, is Evangeline-san really sick? Asked Negi as he arrived upstairs after Chachimaru left. Yep. Naruto simply replied. But she is a vampire. How come a vampire fell ill and Chachimaru-san told that she is even allergic to pollen? Just what kind of vampire is she? Said Negi as he just couldn't make head and toe of the situation. Naruto understood his brother's skepticism. Dad sealed most of her powers, and without her magic and Shinso powers, Chibi-chan is simply a 10-year-old girl. I see, said Negi as he listened to Naruto's explanation. But before the two could talk any further, Evangeline started to cough, which drew their attention to the sick girl who was still asleep. They heard the girl mutter about her being thirsty, to which Naruto went cut his finger, knowing blood would appease her thirst. He put the blood-dripping finger on her opening of her lips. It worked as a charm as she started to suck on the finger, quenching her thirst. After some time she started feeling hot, to which Negi closed the curtains, stopping the sunlight entering the room. A few minutes later Evangeline started to shiver because of feeling cold because of her pajamas were soaked wet with sweat, as Negi decided to point out, which was rather obvious. And as Negi again decided to point out that they needed to change her pajamas, which was also obvious, Naruto asked Negi to wait downstairs until he changed her pajamas. After Negi left, Naruto removed the soaked pajamas which the girl wore and quickly changed them with his eyes closed. He was happy to see that Evangeline now looked more comfortable and also her fever seemed to be going down. He turned towards Negi to find in deep in thought as he would once in a while glanced at Evangeline. "Something on your mind, Negi?" asked Naruto. "Evangeline-san," said Negi without looking at Naruto. "So what exactly were you thinking?" asked Naruto with a calm face. "It was about Evangeline-san. I mean, from what I have heard, Shinso vampires were all originally humans who used a secret lost art to turn themselves into vampires. A 10-year-old girl who turned himself into a vampire. Strange, isn't it?" Naruto nodded. "Also, I wonder how old as Evangeline-san really is. She said she was cursed 15 years ago to remain at school. Why did the Thousand Master curse her in the first place? Just how are they related? And just who is Chachamaru-san?" said Negi as what was on his mind, as by the end he took a thinking pose. "Those are the questions only the people in question can answer. Even though I have some basic knowledge of the matter," said Naruto sagely. "Hi," said Negi looking at Naruto a bit worriedly, and then he walked around the room searching for something. "I wonder if she has any old photos?" Stop. The two heard the voice of Evangeline as they turned towards her. "No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do anything bad," said a panicked Negi, which caused Naruto to chuckle, but Naruto knew well that Evangeline was speaking in her sleep as he heard her speak again. "Wait, stop it, T-Thousand Master," said Evangeline as she shifted uncomfortably in her bed. At that both Negi and Naruto had the same thought, a dream about Thousand Master, Dad? But Negi was a step further than as he readied himself to use a spell which Naruto was certain was to see Evangeline's dream. Naruto wondered if it was the event he was thinking about and clasped a hand on Negi's shoulder. "Ross telephone Monsieur Magister. Nympha Somni, Regina Maeve, Portum Aperians ad se nos Aliciad, Dream Fairy, Queen Maeve. Let her draw us to her while she is opening the gate." Negi chanted the spell. Zero in the dreams of a chibi. Zero Naruto appeared with Negi in the dream of Evangeline. He was certain that this was the older form of Evangeline, though he was certain that this was an illusion. But that didn't leave the fact that she was standing there in the black gothic outfit which showed upper half of her breasts and also gave a good view of panties, was causing an arousal even in the dream world, and was certain it was with the real body too. Not only was she beautiful but had a certain dark charm working for her too. Along with her was a small doll carrying two blades, and surprisingly she looked similar to Chachamaru, as if the girl robot was modeled after the small doll. Apparently Evangeline had finally caught up to a person she seemed to be following for a long time here in Japan and wanted to win over his flesh and blood, and the said person happened to be the Thousand Master, their father. When he heard his dad speak, it confirmed it was the memory he showed him when he was talking about Eva. He spoke in a serious tone. He just felt his eye twitch as all the cool stuff the guy was saying. On his side, Negi was jumping with joy, finally seeing his dad, even if it was in his dream, and how cool and awesome their dad was. Naruto looked as Evangeline, along with the small puppet which she called Chachazero, moved to attack the Thousand Master, but the man seemed even concerned about them as he was searching something on the ground. On the side he saw the panicked face of Negi, as even he was wondering why the man wasn't preparing to attack. What happened next caused Naruto to clutch his stomach, as it was his favorite part of this memory, and started laughing so hard. Nagi had set up a pit trap which Evangeline didn't anticipate and fell in, as it was filled with some sort of liquid. If making fool of the dark Evangel by making her fall in a pit trap wasn't enough, the Thousand Master then poured garlic and onion in the trap, as it was well known that vampires hated them, and was supported by Evangeline's shout as how much she hated those stuff. The Thousand Master then started to stir the liquid, which somehow caused Evangeline to lose her illusion, which caused Naruto to groan as the babe version of Eva disappeared. But what happened next made his stomach to hurt more because of laughter at the scene in front of him. "Why, you cheater? Why, you are the Thousand Master, right? If you are a real mage, then let us duel with magic," shouted Evangeline as her face showed emotions of panic, embarrassment, fear and whatnot. "Nah, I'd rather not," said the Thousand Master as he removed his hood, showing his grinning face as he continued. "Can't really call myself the master of 5 or 6 spells, it just wouldn't stick. It's 'cause I suck at studying, you know." Actually, I dropped out of magical school. Then trying to make a scary face, which was the goofiest scary expression Naruto had seen ever in a long time from his dad. Hey, so how about it? Ya scared yet? It was just too much hilarious to look at the completely surprised and disbelieving face of both Evangeline and Negi. Yup, that's dad, thought a grinning Naruto. Hey, Thousand Master. Just what is it you don't like about me? Asked a blushing Evangeline. Hey, I've told you before, I'm not interested in little girls, answered the Thousand Master. Is it my age? I'm over 100 years old, you know? Shouted Evangeline. Well then, it's because you are an old hag, said the Thousand Master. Don't call me that, shouted Evangeline, hearing her being called an old hag. After that, the Thousand Master asked her to give up on following him, which she refused, and so the man decided to use Infernus Galacticus curse on her, and with that the dream ended. Zero. Now back your original story. Zero. Evangeline woke up with a scream after dreaming that day again, for she didn't even remember how many number of time. It's that dream again, said Evangeline as she tried to calm herself, since that dream always hyped her. UWAAH, shouted Evangeline as she saw the both Naruto and Negi sleeping by her bedside. What the heck are they doing here? HMPH, it's just like they are asking to be killed, growled Evangeline, seeing the two sons of the man condemned her, the one who looked like him and the one who acted like him. Her eyes traveled to the sleeping faces of the two, of which the younger had a peaceful look on his face while the teenager had a grin. TCH. Were they looking after me? And when did the boy come by? She thought as she released her breath to calm herself down. Ah, you woke up, Chibi-chan. Are you all right? Said Naruto as he woke up, directly looking into the eyes of the vampire. Evangeline quickly looked away from the piercing sapphire and emerald eyes as a red shade appeared on her face as she spoke. Yeah, I'm all right. To which Naruto grinned, causing the red shade to darken. Trying to avoid eye contact but still taking a glance at him, she spoke again. I'm going to let you two go for today. I'm better now, so wake the Booyah up and get the hell out of here. Naruto just nodded and decided to do according to what she said as he shook Negi awake. Oi Neg, Eva-chan seems fine, so you should head back to school. Evangeline-san, why, you seem fine. Well then I guess I should leave. I guess I will hand you this letter of challenge some other day, said Negi, showing Evangeline the letter, which made her look at Naruto questioningly as Negi quickly hurried out of the room. After Negi left, Evangeline looked at Naruto a bit sheepishly as she said, so that wasn't your challenge letter? No, I wouldn't fight you now. I'd rather do it when you're unsealed, that we can have the thrill of really going at it, said the grinning blonde. Now that everything is cleared and I feel fine, so leave, said Evangeline with the last part a bit forcefully. Nah, not happening, Eva growled. I promised Cha-chan to look after you until she returns, said Naruto, completely dismissing the little vampire. Cha-chan, mumbled Evangeline. She remembered something as she asked Naruto in a mildly threatening tone, tell me, why the brat was holding onto the staff while you both were sleeping? How am I supposed to know? Said Naruto, unaffected by the threatening tone in Evangeline's voice. Don't tell me, you and that brat saw my dream? Said Evangeline in a very threatening voice as releasing a huge amount of killing intent and gathering as much as magical energy as she could. Naruto still was completely unaffected by the killing intent as he spoke with a grin on his face. Speaking about the dream, your older form looked damn hot for seeing it the second time. The killing intent along with the gathered magical energy disappeared from the room as even the scary look on Evangeline's face was gone, which was now flushed red. But a moment later the room was again flooded with killing intent and gathering of magical energy far greater, putting the previous one to shame. That means you actually saw my dream, and what do you mean second time? Said Evangeline in a very, very threatening voice as suddenly a couple of test tubes filled with a catalyst potion were in her hand. Die, she shouted as she threw the test tubes at him, freezing the entire room. Naruto had caught her and pinned her down. Anyway, you really should stop chasing him. If I was born 17 years ago, Yui sealed, she growled, 15 years ago, and Negi was born 10 years ago, why would you chase a married man who has 2 kids? That caught Eva right there, and then it hit her. She remembered Nagi muttering something about a birthday present for the brat. So was he talking about the idiot at the time? The question plagued her mind while Naruto saw the emotions playing on her face. Then she heard Naruto's final words as he left her be. Please, Move on, Eva. It would save you the heartbreak, and for what it's worth they matched up long before you met. Live in the light, Eva, you might just enjoy it. That last sentence hit her like a building. The almost identical words to his father. She had some thinking to do. I wonder if Evangeline-san has gotten better from her flu yet, thought Negi as he entered the 3A classroom. As he entered the classroom, the girls stood up to greet him as he also greeted them back and decided to start with the English class. But was the Thousand Master really that kind of person? I guess I could find out if I asked Evangeline-san, though Ni-san was acting funny as if he had seen the dream before. He really doesn't talk much about father, but only when I ask him for stories, thought Negi. His eyes unknowingly drifted towards the seat which Naruto normally occupied to find it empty, after which it traveled to the seat of Evangeline to find it occupied by the vampire. Ah! Evangeline-san! Shouted Negi in panic as he saw the vampire being present there. What do you want? I can't challenge you to a duel right now. I'm always available after class, but, continued the still panicked Negi as he grabbed onto his staff. The girls had sweat drops on back of their head as they looked onto the panicked form of Negi shouting about some duel. The idiot told me that you helped him take care of me yesterday. I thought I might as well come to class, seeing how I am stuck here anyway, said Evangeline in a calm tone as she spoke the last sentence in a low voice. Negi went from scared to happy in an instant. Negi was completely oblivious to the girl's actions and thoughts as he continued speaking as he asked a bit nervously, Is your flu better now? Yes. Evangeline said, sounding a bit annoyed as the blonde had only left yesterday when he confirmed that she would be completely healthy by the morning and his bashing of her crush on his father. So that's what happened. This is wonderful. She changed the way how she thinks of me since what happened yesterday, thought Negi with a big smile on his face. Evangeline-san, it isn't nice to call Ni-san an idiot since after all he is a teacher too, said Negi, which caused Evangeline to grit her teeth in annoyance. What? Screamed most of the girls of 3A in unison. It took some time to calm the girls from how they found out that Evangeline referred to their second sensei an idiot, especially since he was only around for a few days. Evangeline-san, how could you even call someone like Naruto-sensei an idiot? Asked Ayaka, as it was a duty of the Ainsho to see that the teachers were respected, especially her lovely Negi-sensei's older brother. I'll call him what I want, and it's his own fault for being too much like that bastard, said Evangeline as she mumbled the last part to herself. By the way, Negi-kun, where is Naruto-kun? Asked Kanoka, completely diffusing the stunned atmosphere while a few looked at her with raised eyebrows. Now that Kanoka mentioned it, every girl's eyes turned to seat which Naruto occupied during Negi's class to find it empty. Ah. Right. Takamichi said Ni-san was taking some personal time for today, though he didn't say why, answered Negi, causing a sigh of relief to be released from all the girls. Later that day, the duo of Evangeline and Chachimaru were currently in one of the empty computer classrooms of the school. Currently Chachimaru was busy working on the computer with Evangeline by her side as she watched the gynoids so easily hack the school's main security network. She couldn't help but admire the barrier's ingenuity of using electricity as a source of its power, but that actually surprisingly worked in her favor because of Chachimaru being by her side. Well, that's that. Now we can finally execute our ultimate plan, right? Said Evangeline as the duo finally left after their plans to disrupt the barrier was set up. That is correct, said Chachimaru, who actually did all the work. All right then. I'll go as planned tonight. Hee. When I think about the shocked look on the boy's face, hee, said Evangeline. Ha ha ha. It will be hilarious. Evangeline laughed out loud, standing on one of the discarded stuff on the roof. Then her face suddenly turned grim as she spoke. I wished to see the idiot's face when I suck his brother's blood dry, but he'll be a bit occupied, then I will crush him. All the while she was speaking, she found it surprising that Chachimaru had yet to say a word, and also the gynoid felt a bit different, so she asked her, Something worrying you, Chachimaru? No, that is. Chachimaru spoke, unsure of how she was to tell it to her master about her keeping things secret from her. Finally Chachimaru bowed low as she spoke. I am very sorry, master. Negi-sensei has already made a provisional contract with a partner. What? Asked a completely surprised Evangeline, not because Negi found a partner but rather Chachimaru didn't tell her about it till now. Why didn't you tell about this? Who's this partner? Shouted Evangeline. The partner is Kagurazaka Asuna, answered Chachimaru as she then continued speaking in an apologetic tone. I don't know why I didn't report this, I am sorry. Evangeline calmed down, accepting Chachimaru's apology. She spoke. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter now whether he has a partner or not. Master, I'll accept any punishment you deem necessary, said Chachimaru. Evangeline dismissed off Chachimaru's words as she spoke. That's all right. I'd be in trouble without your help tonight, especially if the idiot shows up. After she finished the sentence, she moved to fly off the rooftop, completely forgetting about her current inability to use magic and thus falling with her face hitting the roof, causing her nose to bleed. Zero with Negi. Zero Negi was really happy today to see Evangeline attend the class today. As he was busy talking with Asuna about the Pactio contract, he met with the other girls who told him about the blackout that was going to place tonight and also that he was going to be on the lookout around the dorms during the blackout. Zero that night. Zero, both Setsuna and Naruto were completely taken by surprise by the sudden blackout, as the surprise was written all over both their faces. It was more surprising to Setsuna, especially because she had completely forgotten about tonight's blackout after she came across the blonde. What is going on? Asked a thoroughly confused Naruto, as he was certain that Mahora would never have blackouts, as he remembered that the barrier around it was powered by electricity. Ah, the annual blackout, said Setsuna. Not really from here, so explanation please, asked Naruto. She then explained to him how the academy always would cause 2 blackouts every year for maintenance purpose, and the students are warned in advance to prepare for it. Now that Naruto thought of it, he had heard it of the blackouts from Takemichi once when he asked if wasn't it dangerous to support the barrier with electricity, as anyone could cause a blackout to infiltrate Mahora. He also remembered Takemichi say that there was a backup which activated when there was a blackout in Mahora. But then he remembered Eva's seal ran on the barrier. Setsuna set some sound suppression charms around the dorm. I think Eva-chan's making her move now. With that, Naruto flashed out of the room and Setsuna followed his orders. As Naruto got outside, he was suddenly surrounded by what looked like 15 copies of Chachimaru, but with different heights and hair colors. Well, Chibi-chan knows how to party. But he opened pocket spaces in front of his hands. In his left hand he held the Raijin no Ken in a reverse grip and activated it. In his right hand he held 3 tri-prong kunai between his fingers. Let's see they can last, as he charged at them. Zero with Negi. Zero Negi. Springfield. Evangeline aka McDowell hereby formally challenges you to a duel. Come to the baths in 10 minutes. But what happened next surprised Negi, as she jumped of the roof on which she and Negi were standing with a shout. We will be waiting for you, Negi-kun. And then was swinging from one building to another towards the direction of the bathhouse with the help of her ribbon. Other than Negi, there were 5 others present at the bathhouse, of which 5 were her classmates, which were Meiki, Ako, Yuna, Akira and Chachimaru dressed in maid outfit. The 5th was a blonde-haired woman dressed in a black gothic outfit, and one whose magical energy was similar to the time she felt the magical surge. Also, she looked like an older version of Evangeline. Where is your partner? You came here all by yourself. Hey, what admirable courage or stupidity. Why, you are? Shouted Negi as he looked at the older Evangeline with a bit of fear. Who are you? Asked a completely confused Negi, who thought that he was here to face Evangeline. Evangeline couldn't believe the stupidity of the boy in front of her, as she already knew that he had seen her dream, and in her dream he had certainly seen her adult form. It's me, shouted Evangeline, pointing to herself as she undid the transformation. Ah, was the only word that left Negi's open mouth, seeing the older woman happened to be Evangeline. Eva ordered the maid-clad students to attack the child mage, but their attacks compromised of stripping the brat. Negi used a catalyst potion to use the Flan's Exarmatio, flowering disarmament, spell, which stripped Ako and Akira of their maid uniform. Negi used the distraction caused by the first spell as he dived to the sides towards his staff, as he quickly cast a Nebula Hypnotica, Mist of Sleep, on the girls. The spell caught the 2 who were stripped as they were still distracted by the loss of their clothes, but the other 2 were able to avoid it with ease. Evangeline along with Chachimaru joined the fight as she saw 2 of her classmates were knocked out from the fight. Chachimaru along with Meiki and Yuna attacked Negi with speeds which the boy seemed hard-pressed to dodge, as he could not counter them. On the sidelines he watched Evangeline started chanting the spell for Sagitta Magica, as she then shot a total of 17 arrows of ice at Negi. He jumped out of the window after breaking it with one of his magical items to dodge the ice arrows. Zero with Naruto Zero, well that was fun, he said as the courtyard was littered in robot parts. Suddenly he felt a spike in magical energy from the bridge and Koku Shundo there. As he landed he heard Eva speaking. Real men don't pick fights and then cry over them. Are you prepared to admit your loss, already? Your father would have just laughed off something like this. Naruto heard Evangeline praise Negi of the things he did today but also commented on his recklessness of coming alone as she crouched in front of him. But what he heard next made him decide to finally enter the fight, which already seemed over as she decided to go and drain Negi's blood. Chachimaru seemed generally worried about her sensei as he heard her ask her master not to do anything terrible to Negi. He heard Evangeline reassure Chachimaru that she didn't plan on killing the brat as she didn't kill women and children. But what the ancient vampire said next caused a wicked grin to appear on his face. You see, I have also taken up an interest in this boy, Naruto heard Evangeline say, to which an left Chachimaru's mouth in confusion. Wow, Eva, I said move on, not start cradle robbing, said Naruto with a grin on his face. All the female present turned their head towards the blonde sensei in a mechanical fashion with their eyes widened even in case of Chachimaru. Negi was too scared to even realize his brother was there. Eva couldn't believe it, the one person she wanted to kill besides his accursed father was right in front of her. Hey! Hold it right there. Every eye turned towards the source of the voice and found Asuna come running towards them with all her might holding the ermine in her right hand. HMPH, she's here, the boy's partner Kagurazaka Asuna, Evangeline said as a small grin made its way on her face as her eyes traveled to the blonde to see him smiling as he looked at the incoming running monkey. Chachimaru. Evangeline looked at her servant and gestured her to confront the incoming running monkey. Yes, said Chachimaru as she sped forward to confront Asuna. Asuna watched Chachimaru move to intercept her, but she and Chamo had come ready with a plan for the situation as she shouted, Chamo, do it. Roger, and San. I will show you my power, said Chamo as he brought out a lighter along with a tape of some sort of wire. Ermine flash. Chamo shouted as he created a bright blinding light by using the two stuffs in the hand. Asuna used the flash as her cover as she stepped sideways of her tracks, which was going to collide with Chachimaru without losing her speed as she made a mad dash at Evangeline. Sorry Chachimaru-san, Asuna said as she passed the gynoid. Evangeline, who had shielded her eyes with the help of her cloak, was amused to see the stupid monkey make her way directly towards her as she thought, she is aiming for me. HMPH. What can a mere human do against me? She said to herself as she raised a barrier in front of her. Naruto from the sidelines watched as Asuna jumped to kick Evangeline off of Negi. Normally this shouldn't happen, but too bad Eva didn't know about Asuna's magic cancel ability, making her barrier useless. Ow! Where did they go? Said Eva. I am sorry, master. Chachimaru apologized to Evangeline as she had failed to intercept Asuna as she was ordered to. Chachimaru continued as she pointed something her master seemed to have missed. Master, your nose is bleeding. Never mind that, shouted Evangeline, interrupting Chachimaru as she then turned to the blonde as she growled, you. Evangeline stomped towards the blonde with her face in complete rage as she leveled a glare at him and spoke in a menacing tone. Where did you hide him? Naruto. Chachimaru greeted her second sensei, bowing a bit. Meanwhile Naruto was unaffected by the glare and the menacing tone in Evangeline's voice as he spoke in an innocent voice. Me hide the gaki? Nah. I think it was Asu-chan. Which caused the Evangeline to glare at him. I came here to fight you too, but not until Negi's finished, then I'm going at you. Contract renewal, was what everyone heard the ermine shout. Evangeline stopped in her thoughts of teaching the fellow blonde a lesson as she turned towards the direction of the light as she remembered the main reason she was here. Is that where they are? Said Evangeline as she looked at the source of light. And so she was right, as from behind the pillar walked the duo of Asuna and Negi as the ermine Chamo was sitting on Asuna's shoulder. The boy though looked a little scared, but seemed determined to fight, while Asuna, though determined, looked a bit shocked seeing the flying Evangeline and Chachimaru. But just like a few minutes ago, the duo had still noticed the new arrivals. Evangeline, looking at the boy coming out of his fighting, entered her evil mode as she spoke. What's the matter, Booyah? You think you can take a break just because Oni-chan came to save you? Watching that Negi still seemed to be a bit tense to face Evangeline and Chachimaru, so both Chamo and Asuna spoke to encourage to him. Don't listen to her, Aniki, said Chamo, while Asuna spoke directly to Evangeline. What are you talking about? This is what a real fair fight is like, 2 on 2. Evangeline along with Chachimaru landed on the ground spoke again. That's true. Now that we've both got our partners, and it's a fair fight. But are we really evenly matched? The Booyah doesn't have his staff and you've never even fought before. Then her head turned to Naruto, but seeing that the idiot is here, this may be a fair fight after all. Hearing the last sentence from Evangeline's mouth, the head of the trio of Asuna, Negi and Chamo turned to the direction and were completely surprised to see the Naruto standing there. Their face showed hope as they found one of them to be Naruto. Ni-san, spoke Negi. Awesome, now we also have Naruto Aniki on our side, said Chamo. Naruto? Asked Asuna. Kukuku, so you now I can kill you both in one night? Said Evangeline with a huge grin on her face, completely forgetting that she was angry with the blonde a few minutes ago. Chachimaru, don't underestimate Asuna as she might be stronger than she looks, whispered Evangeline to Chachimaru. Yes, master, responded Chachimaru. Kagurazaka Asuna, to think that she broke my magic barrier, twice, to be accurate, thought Evangeline as her hand went to her right cheek, which apparently was the same spot the violent monkey kicked twice. But her thoughts didn't end there as she continued thinking, the old man even let her live with his granddaughter, so I thought she was just a normal brat, but it looks like things are starting to get interesting. Let's go, Evangeline called out as she then continued, forget the fact that I am a student. Show me what you've got, Negi Springfield, Naruto Springfield. Though she knew that just like her the idiot was not going to go all out. All right, said Negi with confidence as he took out a practice wand and Asuna got ready to attack. Thank you for coming, Asuna-san, Ni-san, Chamo-kun. This showdown, I will not lose, thought Negi as he got ready for the fight as winds of tension started to blow. And thus begin the confrontation with Chachimaru charging at Asuna, who also charged at the gynoid. Sis mea pars per nonagintas secundas. Ministra Negi I Kagurazaka Asuna. Contract execution, 90 seconds. Follower of Negi, Kagurazaka Asuna. Shouted Negi, activating the contract, fueling Asuna with his magical energy. Naruto also uttered the same spell to give Asuna an extra boost. Negi stopped in mid-chanting as he watched Asuna and Chachimaru use a forehead flick on each other, to which Asuna crouched down holding her forehead, but next he whipped out a card and yelled ADEAT, and punched Chachimaru with her gauntlets, and as Chachimaru was about to connect her next attack, it was blocked by a red energy field that came from the gauntlet. As Asuna blocked, she punched the gynoid in the stomach and shouted impact, and as the hit connected, a blast of red energy shot out of Chachimaru's back and sent her flying 15 feet, skidding. Negi returned to his chanting after seeing that Asuna was doing well. Seeing the wand, Evangeline couldn't help but laugh as she was casting her spell as she spoke, ha ha ha. What is that cute little wand going to do? Chew on this. As she fired, Sagitta Magica, Series Glacialize, Magic Archer, barrage of 17 ice arrows, at Negi. Watching the arrows of ice make way towards him, Negi looked a bit frightened, but he countered it with his spell, Sagitta Magica, Series Fulguralis. Magic Archer, barrage of 17 lightning arrows. But unfortunately for Negi, the two attacks collided just in front of him, which caused him to be thrown backwards because of the collision and lose his footing. But this didn't stop Evangeline, as she looked rather amused and happy too as she laughed, haha. To think you can even use lightning. But your incantation took way too long. As she then continued the incantation of her next spell, Lick-Lack Lilac Lilac, Undetraginta Spiritus Obscuri, 29 Spirits of Darkness. Ros Telephone Ma Scir Magister, Undetraginta Spiritus Lucis, 29 Spirits of Light. Evangeline heard Negi shout as she saw the boy steady himself and counter her spell. As she saw the Booyah ready to counter her spell, her focus turned to see her fellow blonde, but didn't expect to see him grinning. So idiot, you are testing the Booyah and his partner, she whispered, which only blonde boy could hear as his grin widened as he shook his head in affirmative, which caused a grin to appear on her face. Sagitta Magica, Series Obscuri. Magic Archer, barrage of 29 dark arrows. Sagitta Magica, Series Lucis. Magic Archer, barrage of 29 light arrows. Naruto heard the Evangeline and Negi shout as 29 arrows of darkness and light shot were shot by the two respectively. The two barrage of collided close to Negi but at least not close as the next time. But the explosion and the dust caught both the spell users, causing the other three girls to be a bit worried, especially for the two partners for their mage. Watching the fight, Naruto could see that Negi seemed worried but still determined. As for the little vampire, he could tell that she was enjoying herself as he heard her say, "Ahaha. That was a good one, you're doing well so far." But the spell that Negi decided to use next was something that caught Naruto a bit off guard, as he didn't expect the brat to know that spell. But also, even if the brat did, he didn't expect the brat to actually use it, as it was a rather powerful spell. Until now he was only using the basic Sagitta Magica spells. But he wasn't surprised as he saw Evangeline use a spell similar to the one the brat was using and was actually enjoying it. Negi. Ros telephone ma scir magister, venient spiritus aeriales fulgurientes, come, spirits of lightning and wind. Evangeline. Lick lac lilac lilac, venient spiritus glacialis obscurans, come, spirits of ice and darkness. From his spot, Naruto saw a completely confused Negi, since the brat heard Evangeline using the same type of spell like he intended to, while he saw Evangeline, who was grinning. He was happy to see that Negi didn't stop incanting his spell because of the confusion, as he heard the two continue their incantation. Negi. Cum fulguratione flet tempestas austrina, entwined with lightning, let a storm of the southern seas blow forth. Evangeline. Cum obscuratione flet tempestas navalis, attended to by the darkness, let an endless night of ice and snow blow forth. Bring it on, Booyah! Naruto heard Evangeline shout as both of them released their respective spells. Negi. Jovis tempestas fulgurians, Jupiter's lightning storm. Evangeline. Nivis tempestas obscurans, snowstorm of darkness. Naruto from his point watched as the two respective tornado-like attacks of wind, lightning and ice darkness collide. It was clear that Evangeline's spell was going to win the bout, as she had used a little more magic than she had used the entire night in her spells. And thus it was happening as the tornado-like attack of ice darkness was forcing back its counterpart of wind lightning. From his point, Naruto was happy to see that Negi had not given up yet, as he was trying to force as much as magical energy into his spell, trying to overpower that of Evangeline's spell. But it was all useless, as Naruto knew that the brat was not accustomed to use his huge magic reservoir into something. But then it happened as Naruto saw that a strand of the brat's hair started to tickle his nose, which normally caused the brat to sneeze, which normally blew girls' skirts or strip someone. The moment the brat sneezed, a huge amount of magic left his wand, as it destroyed the two clashing spells as it made its way towards a surprised Evangeline. When the bright light diminished, everyone saw Evangeline still flying in her position, but with a great difference, as she was completely stripped of all her clothes and was flying there in her naked glory. This caused a sweat drop to appear on the back of the Asuna. Evangeline stood there with one hand covering her upper boy modesty, while her hair her lower body modesty, with an embarrassed, angry, annoyed look as she spoke. You have really done it now, you little punk. Hey, just what I expected from you. Her clothes came off. I'm so sorry, said an embarrassed Negi, seeing what he just did now. Why, you did Aniki? You overpowered Evangeline. I can't believe it, said Chamo as he stood by Negi's side as he cheered for his Aniki. Naruto just laughed at the scene and walked forward. Hey Chibi-chan, put some cloths on so we can fight now. Eva snapped her fingers and new cloths appear along with a grin as she could finally fight the first Springfield child. Negi, you did well, but this is a fight that's on Dad's plateau, so don't blink. ADEAT. And with that, a giant chain barrier surround the bridge. It's a cage match now, Eva. Think you keep up with some young blood, or are you getting too old as you let a Gaki beat you? Hey, shouted Negi. Oh, don't worry, idiot, I am going to show you why I'm feared. And in a flash the battle begins. Play Fury Sparks Dual Mix. Naruto threw a lightning-enhanced fist at Eva, which she dodged and followed up with an ancient spell. Tempestas of Meus Pectus Pectoris Connotados Astrapsado de Temetu, Dios Tychos. As Naruto finished his father's combo. Eva smirked, seeing the knowing what was to come next, but was shocked to see two Narutos as the one in front of her attacked in a fierce hand-to-hand combo. She quickly used Ensi's sequence to kill the clone and say the real Naruto surrounded in lightning. 1. Naruto then disappeared right behind her and went for a knife strike with his hand. Eva countered it with her magic blade and saw 3 of his fingers on his hand covered in lightning, 2, as well, blocking her. She was getting intrigued as she saw the look in his eyes, pure excitement with a shit-eating grin, a look his father was known for. She blushed at the thought but broke their clash and got so distant and chanted Lick lil lac malleus aquilonus. 3. And aimed to smash the blonde, but her attack was intercepted with Tempestas of Meus pectispectoris omne flammans flamma purgatus, domini extinctionis et signum regenerationis, in mea manu ens inimicum edat, flagrantia rubicans, and melted her ice hammer. Well, idiot, I'm somewhat impressed. What are those lightning spells, though I've never seen them before? She asked with great interest because the supplement spell looked like it was quite powerful with speed boost it gave him. Made them myself, really, always trying to make new ones. They're only unique to me since I know the process how to use them. That magical sword of yours was good and cold too. Eva grinned and nodded, and they clashed again. Asuna, Shamo, and Chachimaru were wide-eyed at the battle before them. For Negi, well, he had stars in his eyes watching his brother fight and hoping he would teach him his unique lightning spells and burning the memory of the battle in his mind. Rakery, and with both lightning fists exchanging with magical swords in a swift clash, Naruto made a clone to give him long-range support and launched Iaculatio Fulguris at the chibi. Eva dodged and sent 17 Sagitta Magica of Darkness and destroyed the clone. Naruto went for a kick to the chest, but she ducked and did a reversal and threw him into the bridge and started chanting Lick lil lac to symbolize Diaconeto moi, he crystalline basilea, epigenetheto, Taiwanyan eribos, hyani crystal, besides zoes ton ison thanaton, hos ataraxia, cosmite catastrophe. Naruto quickly got up and cast it as fast as he could with a spell of the same level Tempestas of Meus pectus pectoris to symbolize Diaconeto moi, basilu oiranianan, epigenetheto aethelus coroneos tidinas therain, acantakis kai chiliakis astrapsato, kelipal astrain. The high-level spells clashed in the sky, the force pushing back the audience and sent Shamo flying away. The chain barrier blocked the spells from leaving the area. As the spells died out, others were panting, but those held insane grins on their faces. Well, Chibi-chan, how about on final attack to call this one? Naruto knew if this escalated any more the bridge would be gone soon. Eva nodded to this and dashed at him with her Ensi's sequence. Naruto tossed a tri-pronged kunai at her head and Eva easily evaded it with a smirk and taunted. If that was your last shot, you must be. She stopped to look shocked at the flash that was where he was standing and felt a grinding feeling in her back with a shout of Rasengan. And she bounced off the ground and quickly corrected herself in the air, but she still felt the pain from that grinding attack of his as she healed and was sweating from the pain. What the hell was that? Shouted Eva as the pain came back again and she slowly dropped from the air. Master, you must return. Chachimaru shouted as she felt the electricity of the campus about to return since she linked herself to the backup which halted when the lights were out. What? Evangeline shouted as she saw the lights on the bridge return, signaling the blackout has ended, completely forgetting her spell she was incanting. The blackout is ending 3 minutes and 46 seconds earlier than expected. Master, shouted Chachimaru as worry was clearly evident in her voice. At that moment, before Evangeline could move into the safety zone, she felt the barrier activated and a millisecond later was zapped by all directions as she screamed in pain as she then started to fall in the river, sea beneath the bridge. What is going on? Asked Asuna as she just couldn't understand what happened just now with Evangeline. Yes. Chachimaru said as she dashed forward at full speed to rescue her master, but still answered Asuna's question. Once the blackout is over, the seal on Master's power is restored. Without magic. Master is just an ordinary child. She will fall into the lake, and Master can't swim. Meanwhile, falling into the water below her, Evangeline's eyes finally opened after her being zapped by electricity after the seal on her was restored. But what surprised her was that it was not just her servant Chachimaru who had dived to save her, but also Naruto and Negi. Those idiots. The Booyah has already used up his magic power from the clash before. He doesn't have his staff, and that idiot, I was just seconds ago intending to kill him. Evangeline thought as she saw those two jump to save her. Now come to think of it, this is just like before, with that idiot, Evangeline thought as her mind drifted to the thoughts of meeting the Thousand Master for the first time. She then remembered how she had followed him for a long time, asking him to become hers as she had fallen for him. And finally to the day when he cursed her and brought her here to Mahora with a promise that H would one day lift the curse of her as he did this so she could live in the light. Liar. She thought as she closed her eyes as she felt herself being close to the water surface. But moments before she was going to hit the water she felt a pair of strong arms catch her. An unknown sort of warmth was felt by her entire body as those arms grabbed her closer towards the owner of the arms. She opened her eyes and her eyes met the face of the idiot, Naruto Springfield, who had just caught her before she fell in the water surface beneath. She could feel a relief wash over his face as he saw that she seemed all right, which caused a blush to appear on her face. "Are you all right, Evangeline-san?" She heard the voice of Negi, who was hovering a few feet above them on his staff. "Yes," Evangeline said. "Good thing that I tagged you earlier, Eva-chan," Naruto said with a grin on his face, looking towards Evangeline's right arm. Evangeline followed the blonde's gaze, which was pointed at her right arm, to find some sort of seal present there. She didn't know what that seal did but knew from his tone that it had helped save her. "Why did you save me?" Evangeline finally asked as Naruto carried her bridal style as they flew to the bridge above them. "Just because I wanted to," Naruto said, to which Evangeline looked at him wide-eyed. "Also, we are friends after all." This caused Evangeline to avoid his gaze as she looked at the other side with a huge blush on her face as she stuttered, "Why yes." Evangeline then turned towards Negi, who was a few feet away from them, as she asked in a bit irritated voice, "And what the hell were you thinking, Booyah?" "Because Evangeline-san is one of my students and it is job of a teacher to see that their students are safe, right?" said Negi. Evangeline was again surprised, since just like this idiot and that idiot, the Booyah also had the same sincere eyes. "Ahehe. Well, I guess this really is my victory," Negi said as he cheered for himself, which caused sweat drops to appear on back of all heads and also a tick mark on Evangeline's forehead. Negi didn't notice everyone's reaction as he continued saying, "So you have to stop doing bad things from now on, and start attending my classes." "You really should," Naruto said. "I understand. It's true that I owe you two a debt for today," Evangeline said as she eyed the two boys with her eyes saying on Naruto for a longer period of time. "All right. I'm going to write, 'I won,' in the class rooster," said Negi as he started to scribble in his class rooster. "Don't forget to write about my awesomeness either," said Naruto. Evangeline heard as what the two just said as she dashed towards them while shouting, "What the hell are you doing? Stop that. Damn it. Where the hell did you pull that from, anyways?" Negi quickly ducked behind Naruto, since the blonde on instincts, as he tried to reason, But if the blackout didn't end I would definitely have won, and the only reason you were able to fight me because of the idiot's interference," Evangeline shouted as she pointed a finger at Naruto while she said the second statement. On the sidelines, the two girls along with the ermine had huge sweat drops on back of their head as they watched the verbal fight between Negi, Naruto and Evangeline. Does this mean they've made up?" asked Asuna, pointing at the trio. "Maybe," said Chachimaru. "Don't worry, Evangeline-san. I will study really hard about that spell, and when I become a Magister Magus, I'll lift it from you," said Negi, who was still standing behind Naruto. "Wah," said a completely surprised Evangeline as she stopped trashing in Naruto's arm. Don't sweat it, Negi, I already have the specs for the seal and I work on it in my free time," said Naruto. Evangeline's head turned so fast towards Naruto that it was a wonder that it didn't snap as the blood-red blush on her face intensified. But still Evangeline had a reputation to keep, so she shouted at Negi and Naruto, "How many years do you think I'll have to wait for that? If I drained the Booyah's blood or yours, idiot, and I'd be free in no time." Completely ignoring the little vampire, Negi spoke, "All right. I have to find a cure for Maki-san and everyone else too. You don't have to worry about the four, brat. I already have everything covered," said Naruto, reassuring the child mage. A huge tick mark appeared on Evangeline's forehead as she began to trash again in Naruto's arms as she shouted, "Don't get cocky, you two. What, your back's the next full moon, got that?" On the sidelines, the trio of the girls and the ermine just watched the scene in front of them in amusement. Hey, is Evangeline is always like this? Asked Asuna. No, she's only this happy since Naruto and Negi-sensei arrived, answered Chachimaru as she spoke the next words in a very low voice, especially since Naruto started to talk with Master. Asuna heard this and it seemed to unsettle her in a way she didn't really know, but seeing Naruto so strong was amazing. She would have to take up his offer for those combat lessons if she wanted to protect Negi, and maybe if she gets strong enough, Naruto too. With that thinking, she quickly shook her head to get rid of the blush that came to her face. All in all, today was a good day, and just another day too for her and Springfield brother within the crazy world of magic. Thanks for helping me out yesterday, said Negi to Asuna. Sheesh, you are one troublesome teacher. All right, sensei. Treat me to some coffee. Get me some too, Negi, said Naruto. Negi Aniki, I'll have an espresso, whispered Chamo. Oh, okay. Ah, that's right, Negi Aniki. About how we used the provisional contract last night. Ah, said a shocked Chibi-Yo. How's it going, Eva-chan? Hello, Evangeline-san. HMPH. I have no intention of getting along to the point to where we can cheerfully greet each other, all right. Though she did have a small blush when she looked at Naruto. Hello, Negi-sensei. Naruto-sensei, Asuna-san, said Chachimaru. I know all about it, Evangeline. You were in love with Naruto's and Negi's father, said a sly-looking Asuna. Why, you bastard, you did see my dream? Is it true, master? Hey, shut up. Take it easy, Eva-chan. It was the second time I've seen it. What do you mean, idiot? Shouted a furious Eva, wondering who showed him, but she most likely knew. Dad, of course, and the rest of all Arubra. I'll kill them all, shouted Eva in her mind. He's already dead, anyway. It was 10 years ago. The words came out of her mouth even though she didn't intend to say it out loud. Now that she had spoken that out loud, she decided to continue missing the surprised reactions of Asuna and Negi. And he promised to lift my curse one day, too. Well, I can't blame him if he is dead, but the spell he used was very powerful, and there hasn't been anyone strong enough to lift it. That's why I have been stuck with this boring school lifestyle for the last 10 years or so. HMPH, that idiot, she thought as she sipped her cold coffee. That man was truly an idiot according to her, but a powerful idiot nonetheless. Thinking about that also made her remember the idiot's first son, who was just like him. All the while she was eyeing Naruto as she completely missed the little whispering that happened between Negi and Asuna. Evangeline-san, I too have met with my father. I too have met the Thousand Master, she heard the Booyah say with utmost determination as her head turned towards him. What did you say? She asked Negi, not believing what she heard as she continued. What are you talking about? He died 10 years ago. Did you go talk to his dead body or something? No, everyone says my father died before I was born, but, said the Booyah. She heard as the Booyah continued as how he had met him 6 years ago, a snowy night, which the Booyah referred as that snowy night, which garnered her small amount of interest. She looked at the staff he had. It did look like his father's. So, that must mean, maybe. It can't be. Are you telling me the Thousand Master is still alive? She said as her body trembled a bit along with tears forming at the corner of her eyes. Eva-chan read the back of this and you'll know, said Naruto, throwing his Pactio to Eva. She caught it and read the name on the back. Of course she knew that a Pactio only works if the contractor is alive. He. Ha 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 ha. I see, so he's alive. That guy is unbelievable. I knew it. He's the sort of guy you just cannot kill. Ha ha ha. That idiot. Bawahaha. I guess no one knows if he's alive, though, she said as she could hardly control her excitement and happiness. But, this staff is our only clue, isn't it? The Booyah said, indicating the staff. Kyoto. You should go to Kyoto and see for yourself. There was a house there where he lived for a while. If the rumors of his death are false, then there might be some kind of clue there, she said to the Booyah in hopes of finding some clue about him. Kyoto. The famous Japanese city. Where was it again? This is no good. I don't have the days off or travel money either. I had to pay for those uniforms and all. The Booyah in an excited yet panicked tone. Oh yeah, forgot Dad has a house there. Been a while since I was in Kyoto too. Wait, you've been there, Ni-san? Do you know any clues? I don't know. I usually go there to sleep when I got business in Kyoto. Everyone's sweat dropped at that. Why aren't you excited like the Booyah idiot? Don't you want to see Daddy again? Eva asked in an amused tone. Known him over half my life, Eva-chan. Just because it's Negi's dream to see him does mean it's mine. Oh, and what is your dream then? She was curious at what the idiot's dream was. To create the second generation of all Arubra, said Naruto in an excited tone. That shocked everyone but Negi and Chamo since they knew. Eva was intrigued but also prying it wasn't like the first group of idiots. Chachimaru processed it with interest, while Asuna had a sense of déjà vu. Since it is Kyoto, Negi doesn't have to worry about day off, said Asuna. Yes, Chachimaru said, affirming an unknown thing that had said between the two. Was the confused words which left the mouths of Naruto and Negi as to what the girls meant, and also Chamo looked confused. Meanwhile, Evangeline walked in between the two blood-related brothers to take her payment for the information. She was really tempted to make the blonde pay for the information she gave the Booyah but decided against it as she didn't want her to be affected by the idiot's stupidity. Negi took his place behind the teacher's desk while Naruto took the additional seat which was normally arranged for him. Everyone, next week, Class 3A will be going on a school trip to Kyoto and Nara, Negi said with a large smile on his face as everyone prepared. Yeah, came the unified shout of most of the girls. Naruto watched on the reactions of the various girls in the class while Ayaka was busy explaining Negi the reason for choosing Kyoto and Nara over a place like Hawaii. Most of the girls seemed to be truly enthusiastic. Naruto watched as Negi along with the Narutaki twins start dancing in front of the class of how happy they were for the trip and how they wished it started at this moment. A smile spread on his face as he watched his brother enjoying himself. As he didn't have much of an awesome childhood, he somewhat blamed his bookworm tendencies. But seconds later the classroom door opened and Shizuna entered the room, which caused the smile of his face. Negi-sensei, the principal is calling you, Shizuna said as she walked inside the class. Ah, all right, Negi said, ready to go visit the principal. The principal is calling you too, Naruto-kun, Shizuna said. Got ya, Naruto said as he stood from his seat and walked alongside Shizuna. 0 at the principal's office. 0 the school trip to Kyoto's been cancelled, shouted Negi in a horrified tone. Naruto had a few guess why but decided to let the old man do the talking. It's not cancelled yet for sure yet, it's just that they don't want you to go, said the dean. They? The Kyoto government office, you mean? Asked Negi, trying to understand the situation. No, how should I explain this? Said the dean with a sweat drop on the back of his head as he stroked his beard. Naruto had somewhat caught onto the scheme the old man was talking about and spoke. It's the Kensai Magic Association. That's who they are. Kensai Magic Association? Said Negi as he turned toward Naruto with a look of confusion. Naruto looked at the old man to see him nodding, mentioning that he got it right, and to continue as he spoke. You see, Gaki, Japanese magical society is divided into various magic associations for proper functioning. Out of those, Kanto and Kensai are two such magic associations. The city of Tokyo comes under the jurisdiction of the Kanto Magic Association, while Kyoto comes under Kensai Magic Association. Also, the old man here is one of the directors of the Kanto Magic Association. Also, Negi-kun, the Kensai and the Kanto Magic Associations have had a shaky relationship for a long time now, said the dean. If I were to send in a teacher who is also a mage, they would definitely start a riot, said the dean. You mean it's because of me? Shouted a completely shocked Negi. Wait, keep listening, the dean said to calm Negi, which actually worked. I want to stop the feud with the mages in the West, said the dean, which further confused Negi but clarified the suspicions of Naruto. The dean continued with his explanations nonetheless, so I am going to send you as a special envoy. All you have to do is pass this letter to their boss. There may be danger, so stay sharp. Hopefully they will keep away from the students. Negi thought over it for a couple of seconds as he answered with a smile on his face and determination on his face. I understand, please leave it to me, Dean. Ho ho ho, I like the look on that face of yours, Negi-kun. Has something happened to you since the new term began? Asked the dean. No, nothing in particular, said Negi with a face that screamed, you caught me, as he frantically waved his left arm to indicate no, while scratched the back of his head with his right hand, which held he letter. Is that so? said the dean with a small sweat drop on back of his head. Finally, after he calmed down, Negi realized something amiss, which he questioned about. What about Ni-san? Isn't he coming with us too? Yep, I am coming, Negi. Haven't been there for a while, said a happy Naruto. But you are also a mage. So wouldn't the Kensei Magic Association people object to Ni-san too? Said Negi, looking a bit worried that Naruto wouldn't be there. You forget I never went to the academy. Kensei has nothing on me since I'm not an official mage, said Naruto, as if it was the universal truth, which caused Negi to go wide-eyed. Oh, one more thing. Kyoto is where my granddaughter Kanoka used to live. Kanoka hasn't found out you are a mage yet, has she? Asked the dean to Negi in particular, since the boys shared the dorm room she shared with Asuna. I don't think so, said Negi, completely surprised by the question. I don't really care myself, but her parents have different ideas. If possible, don't let her find out, said the dean as he eyed Naruto. Why, yes, I understand, said Negi, still confused. Well then, the school trip will proceed as planned. I am counting on you, Negi-kun, said the dean. Yes, sir. Negi saluted with his enthusiasm returning as he left the room, knowing the trip to Kyoto was still on. What has got Negi-kun to be so enthusiastic to visit Kyoto? Asked the dean to Naruto, as he was certain the blonde knew about it. About that, Chibi-chan told him of the house that dad owns at Kyoto, answered the blonde. Oh, I see, said the dean as he understood the reason for the child mage to be so enthusiastic to visit Kyoto, as he had learned that it was one of the dreams of the boy was to find his father. But there was also something which confused the old man, and that he asked the boy, who is Chibi-chan? Eva-chan, Naruto said again, as it was something the old man should have guessed, which caused the dean to crash on his desk. Ho ho ho, I would expect nothing less from you, said the dean, to which Naruto showed his famous Springfield grin. As Naruto decided to leave and go catch on to Negi, he was stopped by the old man's voice. I leave the safety of the students and Kanoka in your hands, Naruto-kun. You don't even need to tell me that, old man, said Naruto. Also telling Aishin about Kanoka learning magic, said the dean. Naruto looked back at the old man for a couple of seconds as he nodded in affirmative, and with that he left to catch up to Negi. Finally Naruto caught up with Negi, only to find the boy accompanied by Asuna and Kanoka. Also, something seemed to have garnered the interests of both Kanoka and Asuna, and that something looked like a card. Hey guys, what are you looking at? Naruto asked. Naruto-kun, look. Negi-kun made such a beautiful card for Asuna. It looks really cute, said Kanoka as she handed the card to the blonde. Naruto took the card and looked with a bit of sadness. The card's title, Bellatrix Sauciata, Wounded Warrior, and it matched his Asu-chan to a T. The sword's name, Incisorcisans, complemented her magic cancel as well. Asuna, who was watching the blonde stare at the card with such an intense look, felt her cheeks redden. She had just seconds ago learned that the said card was a proof of the contract which she made with Negi last night, which had caused her to blush thinking of the kiss to some extent. Kanoka felt a pang in her heart as she watched Naruto stare with such intensity at the picture of Asuna in his hand. She knew that Naruto surely had a reason for staring at the card with such intensity, but also at the same time she couldn't stop the small amount of jealousy come up inside her against one of her best friends. Anyo, Naruto-kun, Kanoka said as she shook the blonde lightly. Oh sorry, it's just you look great in this picture, Asu-chan. It looks like you got one now from both brothers. He quickly zipped up after that. Was the group response. Look at the back of the card with the younger you on it. She pulled it out and looked at the name and saw Naruto's name. Both Chamo and Negi were shocked. Chamo was really interested on how his second brother already had a Pactio so young. SS said that M means that YUIWE. Her brain was shorting out. Takamichi took care of you, but I meet you when you were a kid. It's okay if you can't remember, said Naruto. Kanoka was pouting at not knowing what was going on, but it appeared that Asuna got a card from Naruto too. She was feeling a bit jealous again, but the pouting face of Kanoka was quickly replaced by a mischievous face as she walked closer to Negi and spoke. But for Negi-kun to make such a beautiful card of Asuna and carry it around all the time, you must be. No, I'm not, shouted a red-faced Negi. All right, let's go, said Asuna as she really didn't want to talk anymore about the card. So where are you guys going? Asked Naruto. 0 at Mahora Academy Co-op Store 0. It suits you. It really does, said Kanoka as he held up a t-shirt against Negi to see the measurements and did it suit the child mage. K. Kanoka-san, said Negi as he was blushing a bit as Kanoka tried various clothes for him. Ah, come on, we don't come out here every day, you know. Negi-kun, you need some cuter clothes, said Kanoka as she picked various clothes for the child teacher, causing him to blush more. Don't you think so too, Naruto-kun? Said Kanoka as she eyed Naruto from the corner of his eyes to see that he agrees with her. She is right, said Naruto as he felt a bit nervous under the stare of Kanoka. Seriously, you need to start wearing something other than those suits. Which caused Negi to blush more in embarrassment and Kanoka to smile. Try these on, Kanoka said to Negi as he shoved some clothes in his hands. Oi Kanoka, don't forget to buy some stuff for yourself too, Asuna said to Kanoka with a small sweat drop on her face. Naruto had heard Chamo talking about making Kanoka Negi's partner. Naruto silently walked behind the ermine and spoke in a slightly dark tone. Say Chamo, you wouldn't happen to be thinking of ways to get Negi a pactio with Kanoka-chan, would you? Wah! Naruto Aniki, don't scare me like that, said the ermine as he looked at Naruto. So, are you thinking about it or not? Asked Naruto. Yes. But if you want I can make a pactio circle for you and Kanoka-ne-san, said Chamo with the shine in his eyes. Maybe, but not till she's ready, okay? Naruto said with a serious face which scared Chamo. Finally, after a couple of minutes did Chamo regain the color of his face, after which he headed directly towards the booths where Negi. No matter what the consequences, he was going to find a way for Negi to make a pactio with Kanoka, and he wasn't going to lose his share of 50,000 ermine dollars. Naruto decided to look around the store for the time being as Kanoka was busy looking for a bag for herself and Negi was in the changing room. As he was busy wandering around, he stumbled upon Asuna, who was currently looking at the clothes which were dressed to a mannequin. You like the dress? Said Naruto as he didn't ask it as a question as it was already clear from her facial expression. Ah, no, said Asuna a bit surprised by the blonde sensei standing behind her. She turned to face him and sighed, yay, but I don't have enough money to buy it. How about I pay for the dress for you? Asked Naruto. What? No, I don't want to impose on you, said a completely surprised Asuna as she didn't think that Naruto would say such a thing. You deserve it, Asu-chan, beside I really want to see you in it, he said with a charming smile. Thank you, stuttered Asuna as her cheeks turned red. After buying the dress similar for Asuna, the duo decided to go search for Negi and Kanoka, seeing that they had yet not arrived from their shopping. Finally they came across a changing booth from which they could hear the voice of Kanoka, while Naruto also heard the faint voice of Negi in there as the two decided to peek in. Inside the booth one could see both Konik Equalza and Negi kissing, while Kanoka kissing Negi on the cheek. Wah! It's magic, said Kanoka as she felt the magic circle activate. After the light from the magic circle disappeared, a card appeared in front of Kanoka, landing in her hands as she spoke. Yeah, it's a card of me. Naruto, Asuna and Negi closed towards Kanoka to get a good look at the pactio card that the contract made. It was a dud card with Kanoka in a witch outfit with the text, Careful White Mage. Ah, why is the drawing so bad? This is totally different to Asuna's card, said Kanoka with a disappointed look. It looks like it has to be a proper kiss after all, said Negi as he looked at the botched card. Really? Shouted a surprised Kanoka, knowing the reason for the bad drawing on the card. Suddenly the card in Negi's hand disappeared in thin air, surprising the child mage as he spoke. Ah, it disappeared. Seeing the card disappear, Kanoka, a flood of anime tears fell down the eyes of Kanoka as she cried for the disappearance of the card. No. Okay. Let's try one more time, Negi-kun, said Kanoka as she pinned the child mage to the wall, approaching him to get the card. Hey, calm down, Kanoka, said Asuna as she pushed the carefree mage away from the scared, surprised, blushing child mage. Tish, only on the cheek. Another failure, just one of those pactio cards, means 50,000 ermine dollar intermediation payment from the ermine organization, said Chamo as he looked at another botched card being created. Ho, I see, just as I thought. You were behind all this, weren't you? said Asuna in a menacing tone as she crouched behind the rat, cracking her knuckles. Naruto had the pleasure of watching Asuna beat Chamo with a big grin on his face. He had expected of the perv to try and get Kanoka to make a pactio with Negi, but he didn't think he would do it so early. Drat. I wanted a card too. Kanoka threw a tantrum. Now come on, Kanoka-chan. You just can't ask Negi to make a pactio card just because you want one, Naruto said to Kanoka in a scolding tone. Sorry, said Kanoka with a sheepish smile on her face. The smile on Kanoka's face suddenly disappeared as a shocked look crossed her face because of the small slip of tongue of Naruto as she asked him in a low voice, "Did you say it was a pactio card?" Naruto groaned. He knew this would come up since she asked him about pactios. Yes, it was, Naruto said, and a huge blush to appear on Kanoka's face. And now she knows of one of the ways of making the pactio cards which resemble the contract between a mage and their partner, thought Naruto as he kept on cursing himself. The four paid for all the stuffs they had shopped for the school trip, with the bag of Negi being the biggest, seeing that he was forced to buy more cute clothes to wear by Kanoka. Hey, Negi-kun, if I, with Naruto-kun, will I still get a card similar to Asuna? Whispered Kanoka into Negi's ears as all the five were heading back to the dorms. Hi, Kanoka-san, answered Negi. Shouted Negi in surprise as it dawned upon him as to Kanoka just meant. Kanoka-san, do you like Ni-san? Whispered Negi, which caused Kanoka's face to turn beet red. What was that, Kanoka? Asked Asuna as she saw Kanoka and Negi whispering to each other. Kanoka turned red and said, nothing. She leaned towards Negi. It's a secret, okay, Negi-kun? Negi nodded. Even when down and out, Chamo had heard this and had a gleam in his eye, so Kanoka-ne-san has got it for Naruto Aniki. Well, either Negi Aniki or Naruto Aniki will do. The next day, the three cheerleaders Misa, Madoka and Sakurako, were out shopping for clothes, however they kept getting distracted. They all stopped when they saw something out of the ordinary. Hey girls, isn't that Negi-sensei, Naruto-sensei and Kanoka? Misa said. The other two looked, and in fact there were the mentioned three. Kanoka was wearing a white sweater over a black dress, boots and a hat that matched her sweater. Negi was in a blue and white sweater and brown slacks. Naruto had on a dark orange long-sleeve shirt, black jeans. Negi was walking a little bit ahead of the other two, while Naruto and Kanoka were practically touching each other. What are they doing? Madoka asked. Hey Negi-kun, Naruto-kun, how about this one? Kanoka asked, holding up a long-sleeved shirt. That looks cute, Kanoka-san, Negi said. It really suits you. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing you in that, Naruto said, winking at her, making Kanoka blush. What is going on here? The cheerleaders thought. They huddled up together and started speculating a few things. Is that a date? Sakurako asked the other two. I know Negi-kun is too young to be dating Kanoka right now, he's just 10, Madoka said. But Naruto and his charming personality may have him and Kanoka dating. So you mean Naruto and Kanoka are dating? Sakurako said. For some reason this does not sit well with them. If they are, then why is Negi with them? Misa said. I know that Kanoka has to go to those meetings for arranged marriages set up by her grandfather, Sakurako said. So maybe Naruto had convinced Kanoka to elope with him in the future, Madoka said. That still doesn't explain why Negi-kun is with them, Misa frowned. Here is my guess, Madoka said. Since Negi lives with Kanoka, she probably mothers him, while Naruto is his big brother. So maybe they decided once they elope, Negi would be the best man or witness for the wedding. Oh my god. We have called the authorities, Misa said. You mean the staff room? Sakurako shouted. You idiot, that would get both of them fired for already planning this, Madoka asked. I finally get a day off, and now, Asuna said from the other end of the phone call Misa made. Stop sleeping until noon. We've got trouble, look at this. She sent the picture of the trio. Something is wrong here. Tell me those two aren't going to elope and claim Negi as their witness. It took a moment before a reply. She didn't like it for some reason and shook her head at the thought. I'm going back to sleep. There is no way that what you said will happen. Hey Asuna, don't go back to sleep, Misa shouted. Hey girls, they're on the move again, Madoka informed them. She saw both Negi and Naruto turn around and hid in the corner. Negi-kun, Naruto-kun, is there something wrong? Kanoka asked both of her companions. Nothing, they both said at the same time. Kanoka-san, I'm sorry, but it's finally your day off and I know you'd rather spend it getting ready for the trip on the day after tomorrow, right? Negi apologized, twiddling his fingers. Well, I'm having fun since we can hang out, said Naruto. Oh my gosh, they look like a good family, Sakurako said. They might be able to pull this off, Madoka interjected. They didn't expect the class representative to ask them to stop whatever was happening over there, which the cheerleaders agreed. So each time the little family went to buy something, they interrupted by buying it first. Damn, there are a lot of violent people in the city, right, Negi? Naruto commented, sweat dropped. Yes, and pretty greedy too. They bought everything we wanted, Negi responded. Well, at least we got these. They should be enough, Kanoka said, smiling. As the cheerleaders followed them, they came to the scene with Negi resting on Kanoka's lap, as she rested her back against Naruto's back. I'm so envious. Damn that Kanoka, Misa grunted. Misa, you can do that with your boyfriend anytime, Madoka deadpanned. Yeah, but we don't have a little kid to make it cute, Misa pouted. Ah, Naruto-kun, look at his sleeping face, he's still a child, isn't he? Kanoka said motherly. Yeah, Kanoka-chan, he is. Naruto said, shifting his position so she rested her head on his shoulder. I think you pushed him a little too far today. Well, I hope this works. She made an odd gesture and said, fatigue, go away. Naruto watched intently as he saw some magic in her finger. See, that was what magic can do, whispered Naruto, and Kanoka nodded in excitement. Kanoka blushed, looking at Naruto, wanting a Pactio too, but waited till they had some privacy. Hold it right there. The two looked at the incoming Ayaka and Asuna coming towards them. Negi is sleeping on her lap, and she's leaning against Naruto, Ayaka said, pointing at them accusingly. Kanoka, are you really going to? Asuna said, with a slight tremble in her voice, looking at how the three looked right now. Huh? Did you figure it out? Naruto said. Why is everyone here? Negi asked, waking up. It seems like they found out, Negi-kun, Kanoka said, Naruto nodding behind her. I thought they'd be more surprised. Negi said. So does that mean you three are going to? Asuna said. Well, we had no choice. Naruto interjected. It may be one day early, but happy early birthday, Asuna-san. Negi said, presenting a gift to her. Kanoka was smiling, and Naruto smiling with her. It's an organ that plays Asuna's favorite tune, Kanoka explained. Oh, we got gifts for you too, the cheerleaders said, giving her the things they bought. Thank you everyone, Asuna said, shedding tears of joy. I'm so happy. The cheerleaders tried to escape but were caught and had a verbal beating from the class rep. Later that night, Naruto walked out and headed for Negi's room and knocked lightly, and was greeted by Asuna in her pajamas. What's up, Naruto? Asuna asked tiredly. I wanted to give a different gift, Naruto said. He tossed her the wrapped present and said, I hope you like it. He then walked away. Asuna walked inside and opened it, to reveal a CD saying, Happy Birthday. Asuna put it in her CD player and put on some headphones. She listened to some deep and beautiful opera songs she guessed. Unknown to her was the spell on the opera songs. As she listened to the aria, she drifted to sleep, dreaming about adventures with a young Naruto and a merry group of mages. Rays of sunlight filtered its way into Negi's, Kanoka's and Asuna's dorm. As it reached Negi's face, he awoke, before his alarm clock. He stopped the alarm clock and exclaimed, Good morning, to the rest of the room. With unimaginable speeds, Negi got dressed. Yahoo! I've been waiting for this day for a long time, the day of the school trip. Asuna-san. Kanoka-san. Rise and shine. I'll rise, but I won't shine, Asuna mumbled as she groggily woke up. Actually, since I'm a teacher, I have to be there early, Negi responded. That's good, I'm going back to sleep, Asuna said. As Negi got out of the room, Asuna was helping him look nice. Do you have our guidebook? Yes. How about your passport and a change of clothes? Nice going, Mom, said Kanoka. Yes. I had everything prepared the day before yesterday, Negi said impatiently. Okay, I'm going off first. Let's get prepared too, Asuna, Kanoka said. I'll make breakfast too. That sounds great, Kanoka, as she headed back into the dorm. I've been really looking forward to this trip. I mean, I get to stay in the ancient capital of Japan for 5 days. School trips are great, Negi said as he sped through the campus. Don't get carried away, Negi Aniki, Chamo said as he appeared on Negi's shoulder. We also have to deliver that letter to the head of the Kansai Magic Association. Right, then afterwards we can go to where the Thousand Master used to live, Negi said enthusiastically. This is going to be the busiest I will be since I started being a teacher. He spun around. Negi, you're late. Negi turned to the voice to see his brother, and he was sporting a white dress shirt with a loose black tie and jeans with his staff charm over his tie. He had his little black book and was most likely jotting down notes for some new theory he was always cooking up. Morning, Ni-san. Are you excited? Naruto chuckled at his brother's actions but then turned serious. Yes, but being excited and being prepared have big differences, Negi. Don't let your excitement cause you to lose focus on the mission. That and the safety of the students come first, K? Negi nodded at his brother's words. He always gave the best advice, and when he was on a mission he got it done. At least that's what heard from Takemichi. Group 1. Misa Kakazaki, Madoka Kujimaya, Shina Sakurako, Fuka and Fumika Narutaki. Kanoka-san, Class 3A is over here, Fuka shouted out the window. The twins are sure alike. They're noisy, Misa said jokingly. Ah, come on, it's more fun that way, Madoka said. Negi-kun, Naruto-kun, the birthday party the day before yesterday was fun, Shina said. Hey, that's no fair, you got play with our senseis, Fumika pouted. It was fun, let's do it again sometime, Negi said. I look forward to next time, Naruto said with his charming smile which caused them to blush. Group 2. Satsuki Yatsuba, Masora Kasuga, Kaide Nagase, Satomi Hakase, Chao Lingshen and Kufei. Satsuki Yatsuba was walking around selling Nikoman as she got on the train. She sells those things everywhere, huh? Masora Kasuga, the tomboy track star of the class, said jovially. Kaide nodded as she was eating one. Do you want one too, Kasuga-san? Satomi Hakase, resident scientist of the class, asked. Masora just shook her head. No. Chao Lingshen, the Chinese foreign exchange student, was looking around merrily, wondering if she could use Negi to sell the meat buns in England. She also watched as Kufei offered Negi some food which he gently declined. Hey Chao, how much is the Nikoman? Naruto asked as he checked off each of the students. They're 120 yen apiece, Naruto-sensei, Chao replied. Can I have 4 please? Hungry much, sensei? I thought all that ramen you eat secretly was all you ate? Chao laughed as she took 4 meat buns out and accepted the money Naruto gave her. I have an addiction and I'm not afraid to admit it, but keep it quiet and I'll have 20 bowls when we get back, Naruto said, taking a bite into the food. Chao had stars in her eyes. Group 3. Kazumi Asakura, Natsumi Murakami, Shisame Hasegawa, Chizuru Naba and Ayaka Yukihiro. Natsumi entered the car looking at everything with awe. Chisame was just considering everything stupid. Asakura was busy taking pictures of everything, especially the blonde teen with a clipboard and Nikoman in his mouth who was busy checking if the people got onto the train or not. She smirked at her success. Chizuru was busy laughing at Ayaka. She's at it again. Hey Ayachino, try to lower down the illegal child seduction to a minimum before lunchtime, okay? Asakura said. She was promptly ignored due to dragging Negi everywhere. I've rented out the entire green car, so let's take our time and relax there. Just the 2 of us, Ayaka said, whispering the last part. Ayachino-san, I still have some work to do, Negi said, waving his arms frantically. This sent Chamo onto Naruto's shoulder. Seriously Ayachino, at least let him finish his work before trying to abduct him, Naruto said, exasperated by the scene. Luckily he didn't have to do anything since Group 4 decided to come in at the time. Group 4. Akira Okochi, Mana Tatsumiya, Ako Izumi, Yuna Akashi and Meiki Sasaki. Are you guys okay? Mana asked. Ako, are you sick even before the trip starts? Akira asked, rubbing Ako's back. No, I think I just ate too much Nikoman, Ako replied, using Yuna as support. You want me to get you water? Yuna asked. Ako nodded and Yuna bought some from the vending machine on the train. Negi-kun, do you want to hang out with us as during free activity day? Meiki questioned happily. Negi, Naruto and Chamo sweat drop at her energy. Sasaki-san, he's taken. Air very busy, Ayaka replied hotly. This caused Maki to pout and turn away. Naruto walked up to Akko and looked at her with worry. Hey Akko-chan, are you okay? Naruto walked towards the sick-looking girl and started to rub the back of her neck, which surprised all those who were present there, meanwhile forcing a huge blush on Akko's face at the action. What are? Akko tried to ask but was interrupted by Naruto. Akko-chan, close your eyes and breathe slowly, said Naruto. Akko quickly did as the blonde sensei said. She felt the fingers of Naruto moving on her neck, and suddenly she felt warmth spread throughout her body and all the uneasy feeling she was feeling leave her. Feeling good? Said Naruto as he removed his fingers from her neck. Why yes. Akko said with a smile on her face. Well, I hope you stay well, okay? He said after moving away from her. Wouldn't want any of my students to be hurt or sick on the trip now, right? He finished smiling at her warmly, making the blush go deeper. She nodded and left the entrance. Group 5. Nodoka Miyazaki, Haruna Saotome, Yu Ace, Asuna Kagurazaka and Kanoka Kano. This is your chance, Nodoka. Go ask him, will you go out with me on free activity day? Haruna suggested to the quiet bookworm. But, was all Nodoka could say. Come on, I don't think Negi-sensei would turn you down if you ask him. Yu just watched her friends as she sipped her juice box. Negi, did you eat properly? Asuna asked the boy. Yes, I did. Thanks for the onigiri. Thank goodness they were okay, Kanoka said. Oh hello Aichino, Naruto-kun. Yo Kanoka-chan, Asu-chan. You like my gift by the way? Naruto asked Asuna, getting the attention of those around them. Thanks Naruto, it was a nice gift. I brought it along so I can listen to it at night. Oh, so you got gift for Asuna? Where's mine? Kanoka pouted and crossed her arms. I'll get you one later when it is your birthday, Kanoka-chan, K? Naruto said, smirking to the girl as she beamed right back at him. You should go to your seats right now. The girls nodded and walked away, Aichino and Kanoka talking about something. Naruto-ni-san, I think we are missing some people, Negi said. Let's see. Naruto and Negi looked at the clipboard only to be interrupted by a new voice. Excuse me Naruto, Negi-sensei, the voice said. The duo looked up to see a girl with ebony hair put up in a ponytail that hung to the left with the right half of her forehead covered in bangs, while the other wasn't. Your seat number 15, Setsuna Sakurazaki, and is that Zazie Rainy Day behind you? Negi asked. I am supposed to be the leader of Group 6, but since Evangeline-san and Chachimaru-san are not here, it is only me and Zazie-san. What do we do? Setsuna asked. I see that's a real problem, Negi said as he looked a bit worried, panicked and surprised. I know. Why don't you join another group? Negi said. All right. I'll assign Sakurazaki-san to Asuna-san. Can I leave Zazie-san to you, Ainsho-san? Said Negi as he looked at the two girls in question. No prob. Of course Negi-sensei. Oh, Sei-chan. We're in the same group. Oh, Setsuna then remembered Naruto's words to her, yes. Kokono-chan, she said as she bowed with a red face and left. Sei-chan, Kanoka said with a smile, and she turned to Naruto, who gave her a wink, and she blushed and followed suit with Setsuna. At one of the rooftops in Mahora Academy. I bet he's on the Shinkansen right now, said Evangeline in a bored voice as she slumped lazily by a wall on the rooftop of the dorms. It's a shame you can't go on the school trip, master, said Chachimaru, who was standing close by to her master. Hey, what do you mean, it's a shame? I wouldn't want to go on a trip with the idiot anyway, said Evangeline, looking at her servant as if thinking that she was an idiot to even think that stupid thing, though the small pink tint on her cheeks contradicted what she was saying. It's looked like you really wanted to go, said Chachimaru as she wondered, was I mistaken? A tick mark developed on Evangeline's forehead as she heard her servant point out the obvious. Adding another fact to Chachimaru's last statement, the gynoid had defeated her in a verbal conversation, and it didn't bode well with her. She would one day have her revenge, but currently she wanted to know something else from her servant. Idiot. More importantly, why didn't you go yourself? You want to go, don't you? Evangeline asked Chachimaru. No, I'd rather be my master's side, as usual, answered Chachimaru, and then she remembered and pulled out a letter. Master, Naruto-sensei left this for you, as she handed it to her master. Huh? What does it say? As she opened it, Naruto popped up on it and it played. Hey Eva-chan, just wanted to say bye since I had to work with the Gaki early. I'll be sure to get you and Cha-chan something nice. Don't worry, I'll get you some heavy stuff since Cha-chan told me you like sake. Peace out Eva-chan, and I'll work on the seal too. He finished with a grin and salute, and the message ended. Eva looked at her servant, then played the letter again and had a bit of a blush as she paused at the end. She ended up keeping the letter instead of throwing it away. With Class 3A aboard the Shinkansen, the class had taken their seats as the train was about to depart. The only people to not occupy a seat in the compartment were Naruto, Negi and Shizuna, as the three stood in the front of the compartment facing the students. All right, everyone. The 15th annual school trip is about to begin. Please make the most out of these 5 days and 4 nights. Negi announced with the girls. Yes, was the chorus reply from most of the girls in the compartment. Looking at the enthusiastic girls, Negi continued his speech with more excitement lacing his voice. There will be a lot of free time for the groups, so I think it'll be a fun trip for everyone. Please try not to get hurt, lost, or cause anyone else any trouble. You should take all responsibility for yourselves. In particular, you should be careful and try not to get hurt. Ouch. His speech was interrupted as a food cat collided with him from behind. Hey Negi, maybe you should learn to follow your own advice before giving it to someone else, Naruto said in a playful tone but loud enough for all the girls to hear, as many of the girls couldn't help but laugh at the playful joke. Sheesh, is he going to be okay? Thought Asuna in between her laughter. Shizuna went next to give her speech, and as Negi she advised the girls to be cautious and safe and to have fun. She also mentioned that they behave properly, since their behavior would reflect the thoughts of the locals about Mahora Academy. Naruto just said to have fun, don't cause any fires. Naruto took a nap so he wouldn't be tired during the patrols he knew were going to happen. On ninja training, some habits just don't break. He got about 30 minutes until AACK. He immediately shot up with a tri-pronged kunai in hand to see a multitude of frogs. What's with all these frogs? Negi shouted as he attempted to catch some frogs. They all just appeared like magic, Asuna shouted, helping out. Sensei, we've managed to get most of the frogs. Kufei said. Shizuna-sensei fainted, Meiki called out. Someone bring her to the health committee officer. Aichino, take an emergency roll call, Negi commanded. The health officer has fainted too, Asuna cried out. Here, give them to me, Naruto said, walking up to them. I'll take care of them. Oh, what happened? Shizuna groggily asked. Did I have a fainting spell again? Akko too seemed dazed. You too fainted due to the multitude of frogs, Naruto answered as he used a small healing spell. You two rest. Me and Negi got this, okay? Naruto instructed as the two nodded and fell asleep. He looked up in time to see the letter Negi was supposed to deliver being taken by a bird, and then he saw Negi giving chase. He followed them and reached the end of the train. Naruto saw Setsuna in the back of the train with the letter. He saw on the floor a piece of paper in the shape of a bird split in two. Shikigami? Why the hell would one be here? Naruto thought. You dropped this, Setsuna said to Negi. Ah, my all-important letter, Negi exclaimed. Thank you. You should be careful, sensei, especially when we reach the other side, Setsuna said as she walked away. Ni-san, what are you doing here? Wanted to see if you needed help, Naruto replied, looking at Setsuna's retreating form. She might be a spy from Kyoto. I mean, look at the paper, it's in the shape of bird that took the letter. She must have been the one controlling it. What? First Evangeline-san and now her. What am I going to do? Negi asked Mouth Agape as he stared at his student. Easy there, you two, she's an ally. Both looked at him questioningly. She's Kanoka-chan's guardian sent to protect her by her father, so no stupid spy theories, we don't need that now. Let's get back and see if the others are better, said Naruto as the two nodded. A few hours later, we'll be arriving in Kyoto shortly, please ensure that you do not forget any personal belongings, announced a voice from the intercom. The announcement from the intercom made all students stop their games and in some cases hair beauty sleep to start preparing to leave the train. Naruto walked around helping girls around with bringing down their luggage from the luggage compartment while Negi announced to everyone to get ready to disembark the train. Thanks, Naruto-kun, Yuna said kindly as the blonde sensei handed her bag to her. It's nothing, just trying to help my students out, Naruto said with a smile which caused a small blush to spread on Yuna's cheeks, though neither of them noticed it. Naruto then walked over to help the twins with their luggage as they seemed to be having the most trouble. While he was doing that, he turned his attention over to Negi, who as usual didn't understand what was to be said at what time. A chuckle left his mouth as he saw the child sensei trying to wiggle his way out when Kanoka, who seemed to have heard his announcement about finding their dad. The train finally reached Kyoto, and the first to step out of the train were Naruto, Negi and Shizuna, followed by a horde of Class 3A as they rushed out of the Shinkansen. The group finally arrived at their first destination, that being the Kiyomizu Temple, which is an independent Buddhist temple in Kyoto and is a part of historic monument of ancient Kyoto and UNESCO World Heritage Site. The moment they reached the Kiyomizu Temple, where all the girls along with the three teachers gathered together for a group picture, with Naruto standing in between Shizuna and Setsuna as he nudged his sword-wielding girl closer to Kanoka. After the picture, Class 3A went into the temple and began exploring it, with Naruto and Negi joined them and Shizuna left to check on the other classes. Kyoto! Sakurako yelled energetically, pumping her fist to the air while a few others cheered along. This must be that place where you jump off. I've heard about this, Yuna said. Someone tried jumping off, Fuka said. All right then, Kaide volunteered. Stop that! Ayaka yelled. What stressful people, thought Chisame. This is the Kiyomizu main temple's famous Kiyomizu stage, isn't it? Yu asked to no one in particular. Yes, it is, Naruto answered as he had a smile on his face at the antiques of the girls, and then went on to give a brief history of the place. Kiyomizu Temple was founded in the early Heian period. The temple dates back to 778, and its present buildings were constructed in 1633, during a restoration ordered by the Tokugawa Iemitsu. There is not a single nail used in the entire structure. It takes its name from the waterfall within the complex, which runs off the nearby hills. Kiyomizu means clear water, or pure water. It was originally affiliated with the old and influential Hasso sect dating from Nara times. However, in 1965 it severed that affiliation, and its present custodians call themselves members of the Kitahasso sect. Oh, was the only word that left the mouths of the girls and Negi as they heard the info and nods from a couple of girls who knew the information. Naruto is smarter, Ku-Fei decided to point out. Duh, he is a teacher after all. All teachers are smart, said Maki. Actually, it's on this pamphlet they were giving out, said Naruto as he scratched the back of his head with a sheepish smile on his face, and everyone's sweat dropped. This is Kiyomizu main temple's famous Kiyomizu stage, isn't it? Yu stated plainly as she sipped another weird juice from a box. They use it for dancing and enacting no plays in honor of the Buddhist god Kanon-sama. It's listed as a national treasure now. This is where the famous phrase, "I'm going to jump off the Kiyomizu stage," came from. During the Edo period, there were 234 recorded cases of people actually jumping off. The survival rate was 85%, surprisingly high, isn't it? Said Yu with a small hint of excitement could be seen in her voice. Whoa, she's a freak, Yuna said in stunned belief while Chao and Negi were awed by learning the new information. It can't be helped, Haruna laughed as she answered. Yu really loves those statues of Buddha from the shrines so. What a nice weather, Madoka said as she felt the gentle breeze. You're right, hey, Asakura, you should take a picture of this, Misa said, also feeling the weather. Already did, Kazumi called out as she was busy snapping pictures of the scenery. Amazing, you can see the whole city from up here, Negi shouted in amazement as he watched the view from the railing. Yep, you got that right, Naruto said as he leaned on the railing. The calm expression on the blonde's face along with his blonde hair being swayed by the gentle wind caused the faces of all the girls to heat up. Hey Negi, it's okay to have fun, but don't fall over the side, Asuna scolded as she controlled the blush on her face seeing Negi hanging by the railing. I'm so glad Negi-sensei is enjoying himself, Ayaka said with a fond glance at said boy. Ah, this breeze does feel nice, Akira said as by now she too had controlled the blush on her face and was enjoying the gentle wind. Oh, that's right, if you go a little further from here, there's a fortune-telling place for your love life. It's very popular with the ladies, Yu said as she was certain the class would love to know about it. Maki eyes lit up at that piece of information. Love fortune-telling, Ayaka asked excitedly as she quickly grabbed Negi. Well then, let's go together, Negi-sensei. Oh, okay, Negi stuttered. Ah, I want to go too, Meiki said cheerfully. Naruto saw some of the girls sprinting and was wondering what was up. What are they doing? He asked Yu. Ichino, Meiki and Nodoka are trying to get from this rock to the other, Yu said. Why is that? Superstition has it that those who could make it from one stone to the other without looking they will find success in love. As the three went, Nodoka went off course as the competition started. Meiki then accused Ayaka of cheating when she herself opened her eyes. Things were getting heated, when both of the competitors fell into a pitfall. This had Naruto laughing with a light blush as he saw the girl's panties. He heard Asuna ask Ichino if this was divine punishment for cheating, and Meiki confessed that her eyes were indeed half open. All in all, the scene was making him laugh. He continued to follow the group to the famous waterfall. So Yu, which one is which? Naruto asked next to the girl. From right to left it is health, career and marriage. Yu explained as she still sipped on her juice. Naruto watched as majority of the class was making a mad dash to the last fall as they wanted something from the marriage one. Naruto whistled. Damn, are it desperate or something? The girls who weren't getting from the waterfall just shrugged in unison. Anikis, I think we have a problem, Chamo stated. The teachers looked and saw the girls who were drinking from the falls on the floor. Senseis, I think they are drunk, Yu stated. What? Both of them shouted. Negi went to the roof of the shrine and saw a machine. Who in the world would pump sake into the falls? Is that wine I smell? An elderly sensei from Mahora asked. Ah, Nita-sensei, Naruhiko-sensei. That is just non-alcoholic wine, Asuna covered. Yu was slapping the hell out of Ayaka trying to get her up, while other students were helping the drunken ones. Naruto stood back, watching the scene. He turned up to see Setsuna on the roof and they seemed to have a non-verbal discussion as they looked at each other. They nodded and did what was needed at the time for the class. At the hotel, Naruto, Negi, and Chamo were discussing what was going on and Naruto had to shoot down all of Chamo's, Setsuna is evil, theories. Negi, Naruto, Asuna called as she entered the room. We put the drunken girls in their rooms so they can sleep, but tell me what is going on here. So Negi got into explaining what has happened and what he is going to do there. Naruto decided to stay out of the conversation. So there is weird magic association from Kansai attack you. Hi. Another magical disaster by you seems to have followed you, Negi. I'm sorry, Asuna-san. I guess you want my help, huh? Don't worry, I got your back. I'm guessing Naruto does too, she said, shooting a glance at the blonde who smiled at her and she blushed at it. Sure, Su-chan. All the training I've been giving you should be put to good use here if I think how this will go down. What do you mean about that, Naruto Aniki, and what training? Asked Chamo, and Negi nodded to this. Well, when Negi ran away during the Eva incident, Naruto trained me and still does on how to fight and use the Pactio card we apparently made. I'm still waiting for an explanation that too. She was red in the face as she said it and turned her head so they couldn't see it. In time, Asu-chan. You, me and Michi will talk about it, K. He asked, hoping to avoid it, and she nodded to it and he sighed in relief. Now the letter is important. Put, if my hunch is correct, we should focus our defenses on Kanoka-chan. They all looked at him in shock. But Ni-san, why? Kanoka-chan has some major magical power that's the greatest to exist in a long time, and there are people who would abuse this power or harm her to use it, so that is why she doesn't know about magic. Which was stupid. That shocked them even greater. So, what, Kanoka is a mage too? Great, what next? I'm a princess. Asuna said with a snorted while Naruto was panicking at that and stirred the conversation away from the no topics for now. We'll talk about it more later. I'm going to take the bath, you should take one too, Negi. He said, walking away. Negi, we'll talk when we have free time. Asuna then took a whiff of the boy. And Naruto is right, you do need a bath. Negi laughed, embarrassed that he smelled baths. Damn, we need to get to Aishin's quick, my senses are going berserk, and if Negi attracts trouble like I do, then I don't even want to think about it. Single quote. His thoughts were interrupted when he heard someone open the door. Must be another teacher, he said under his breath. He turned around, but then hid behind a rock. Inside the bath with him was a naked Setsuna. Kami, I wonder if this is how Ero Sennin felt when he was No no no, do not embrace the pervert, you are not like him or Jake and Al, you have a Su-chan. As Naruto was conflicting with his inner pervert. If Negi-sensei is a mage I will need to take action. But I know Naruto said he was making plans so I shouldn't think it over too heavily, but if I don't find out what he's planning I won't be able to prepare. Troublesome. Setsuna pondered as she paused in her bath. Naruto couldn't help but laugh a little as he heard Shikamaru's term. Who's there? Show yourself. Whoa, easy Setsuna-chan, it's be your charming blonde sensei. Put the sword down. As he held his up in surrender. Sensei, what are you? But she stopped mid-sentence and saw his towel fell off and she was him. What the hell, it's huge. Screamed Setsuna in her mind as she had a full body blush. Naruto saw her line of sight and decided to have some fun with the stoic girl. Setsuna, you pervert, if you wanted to see something go on the internet. I will not be seen as an object, I'm a human being. He said as he covered himself and saw her freaking out that she was looking and was apologizing with her sword in hand. Man, she's fun to tease, file that for later. Single quote. As this was going on, Negi and Chamo entered. Naruto, Ni-san, I was looking for you. Negi said from water. He stood up to face his brother when he saw him with Setsuna. Negi got out his wand and pointed it at Setsuna. Get away from her, Ni-san. Yeah, she's been a spy from the Kansai Magic Association. Chamo shouted as he landed on Negi's head. That's not true, sensei. Setsuna shouted at the ermine and boy. What's not true? You better fess up, we're on to you. Chamo insisted. Chamo, I said she's with us. Naruto sighed. Hi, I am not your enemy. Setsuna Sakurazaki, am an ally to senseis. Negi and Chamo exclaimed. I told you so. Naruto gloated, poking Chamo in his chest. What do you mean by that? Negi asked. I am Kanoka Ojo Sama's. Setsuna was interrupted by a scream coming from the changing rooms. Is that? Naruto asked. That scream, it's Kanoka-san. Negi said. Kanoka Uho-sama, Setsuna asked worriedly. Could the Kansai Magic Association be on the move to capture Kanoka Ojo-sama right now? Ojo-sama. The child and ermine kept wondering why she called Kanoka that. Ojo-sama. Setsuna rushed out the onsen with her nodashi in hand. Well, ain't she a firecracker? Naruto commented as he too followed her out. Ni-san, Setsuna-san, wait for me. As Negi ran after them. 0. End scene. Now I have a gift to give you guys, a preview of one of the pet projects I'm doing. 0. Deeper, deeper, deeper she sank into the lake the mob of her attackers had thrown her into. Why? I've done nothing to them and yet I'm going to die, she thought as she sank even deeper into the lake. Bubbles escaped her mouth and her eyes glazed over as she was losing consciousness. This was Uzumaki Naruto in what may be her last moments in her short 4-year-old life. Suddenly her eyes opened and they held pure determination as she tried to swim, but she was in such pain she could barely move. I would die, not like this. Hokage. I need to be Hokage like Gigi and be a ninja. She thought as she fought the pain, but it was too much for her as she made it up somewhat, but her body gave out from her. The last of the bubbles escaped her mouth as she fell asleep. A wisp in the water surrounded her and made an air bubble around her. A woman floated over to her. This woman looked at her as if examining her. Such a strong spirit in one so young, for her to lose her life so early would be nothing more than tragic. She reminds me much of Arturia, strong-willed, noble in heart, and carrying a beast of power from birth. Oh my, she is a child of the whirling tides. I thought they were all gone. Interesting, maybe it is time for a new hero of legend to rise. She giggled at sound that of an angel to those who could hear it. It is time for the sword to reappear in this war-torn world. And why not the child of prophecy to wield it, as I'm sure there could be no better. Yes, Arturia, your legacy will continue as this child will be a king. A king like you and yet not like you, the child who will save this world and bring peace. It seems I will be busy, probably the most fun I will have in centuries. I, the Lady of the Lake, will give you guidance, young Uzumaki, as your family was the only other than Arturia to hold my blessing, and so shall you, my future king of knights among the shinobi. She whispered as she brought her to the surface where the sun was just rising and a new day came as a legend was in the making. Naruto Fate Stay Night Crossover. Insert awesome title here. Coming soon to a monitor near you. As the three ran down the hallway, Naruto felt a bit of a draft and he looked down. I knew I was forgetting something. And as they were running he saw a maid with a pile of towels and sped past and grabbed one. He in fact grabbed it so quickly that he didn't see they made collapse from a nosebleed. The trio reached the changing rooms and opened it, only to see Asuna and Kanoka being stripped by monkeys. Negi, what the hell are these monkeys doing to our clothes? Asuna screamed, trying to keep her clothes on. The monkeys then took off Kanoka's remaining clothes, her bra and panties, leaving her stark naked on the floor. Ah, Sei-chan, Naruto-kun, Negi-kun, don't look. Kanoka cried. Naruto had the decency to look away at the moment. Naruto also felt killing intent coming from Setsuna and saw her holding up her blade with a look of fury in her eyes. What are you perverted monkeys think you are doing to Ojo-sama? Setsuna threatened. Hey Sakurazaki-san, is that a real sword? Asuna asked, surprised. Yes, don't attack them. They're just poor monkeys. Negi stopped her from doing anything by latching himself onto her body. These are all just low-level shikigami. They will only turn to paper if I cut them up. Setsuna explained. A monkey had snuck up on them and stole Setsuna's towel, causing her and Negi to fall. Negi was on the floor and looked up to see a good view of Setsuna's lower region. Asuna could only stare in shock at what happened. She also heard Naruto grumble something along the lines of, "Damn lucky little bastard." Single quote. Hey, the monkeys are getting away with Kanoka. Asuna stated, pointing at the door. Naruto summoned a kunai from his pocket space and leapt forward, holding it in a reverse grip. Setsuna hopped from the floor and away from Negi, also charging the door. Naruto landed in front of the monkeys while Setsuna was behind them. Shinmei Ryu's secret technique, Hyakuretsu Kazan, 100 strike cherry blossom slash. She spun in a circle and sliced up all the monkeys, as he slashed their heads at a bit of a faster pace, changing them back into pieces of paper. Setsuna then caught Kanoka in her arms. That was close, Naruto said, frowning. I agree, Naruto-sensei, Setsuna replied. Kanoka-san, are you all right? Negi shouted as he and Asuna got closer. As he drew closer he felt a presence in the trees, as did Naruto. Negi looked at the trees but saw nothing, however Naruto reacted differently. He used his kunai and threw it at the spot he felt the person, but was met with the sound of metal meeting wood. Damn, they got away. Naruto and Setsuna thought at the same time. Sei-chan, Kanoka said from her position. Was I attacked? Setsuna blushed and promptly dropped Kanoka in the water and ran away. Naruto, Negi, and Asuna gained a rather large sweat drop at the scene. Kanoka-san, just who is Setsuna-san? Negi questioned, waving his arms frantically. Why does she call you Ojo-sama? Did something happen before with Sakurazaki-san? Asuna asked. Kanoka answered her and told her about her past with Setsuna with a sad look and asked Asuna if they could finish their bath. Naruto then whispered to Kanoka to keep her wand with her at all times and she nodded to her teacher. 0 Hotel Lobby 0. Kanoka-san looked so depressed. So, Negi said. Lonely. Yeah, the Kanoka we know would definitely not make that sort of face. Asuna said. Naruto sighed as he walked with them. You guys need to remember that even one as cheerful as Kanoka-chan can get sad. Hopefully by the end of this trip those two will be good friends again. The two redheads nodded and continued to walk with Naruto down the hallway to make sure everyone was going to sleep. All right, everybody, lights out. Back to your assigned rooms, Negi said to the few girls wandering the hall. As some of the girls went back to their rooms, Kaide walked up to the group. You two must be tired, senseis. Luckily it's a pretty quiet first night on the trip. Well, the girls are passed out from the wine. Negi laughed. They'll be fine in the morning. Naruto said, smiling at the ninja. Yes, but tomorrow night will be different. But there seems to be trouble brewing again. Call me if you feel you need it. She whispered to Negi. I might call Nagase-san. Negi said enthusiastically. Yes, that would be nice, Kaide-chan. Naruto said, winking at the girl as she in turn gave a smile. This did not sit well with Asuna for some reason. The trio walked into the lobby, placing pieces of paper around the area. Setsuna-san, what are you doing? Asked Negi. Ah, Negi-sensei, Naruto-sensei, Kagurazoka-san. Setsuna said from her place on a stool. In her hand was a piece of paper she was placing over the door. I'm placing barriers to ward off Shikigami. The group then sat in the lounge waiting for Setsuna to come over. So Setsuna-san, you know Japanese magic too? Negi asked curiously. Yes, it complements my sword skills. Setsuna answered as she fixed the papers on the desk. Can I look at those, Setsuna-chan? Naruto asked, indicating the papers. I just want to see something. Hi, Naruto-sensei. Setsuna then gave Naruto the stack and he rifled through them. As he went through them, a smirk appeared on his mouth. I must say this is very nicely done, Setsuna-chan, though I would say if make a small change on this line and change it from going vertical to diagonal it would increase its power a bit more, but that's just me. Said a very engrossed Naruto as he studied the seal. Amazing. You're right, Naruto-sensei. I seem to have forgotten how well you are in Eastern magic from your reputation among them. Said an odd Setsuna as she changes the seal a bit. What do you mean, Sakurazaki-san? Asked a confused Asuna. Naruto-sensei is highly respected from his knowledge on Eastern seals and Western runes. I believe there was an article about it among the wizarding community for his knowledge on combining the two. Said Setsuna. Asuna was shocked. She knew Naruto was strong, but to hold a high level of respect as well, what wasn't Naruto good at? Negi smiled at his brother as it made him want to push himself further to be like him. Chamo just nodded as he had heard many things about Naruto over the years. Naruto blushed a bit from the praise and scratched the back of his head. The attacks of the enemies seemed to be growing. Sooner or later Konoka Ojo-sama will be in the crossfire too. We have to come up with some countermeasure for this. Setsuna planned. Negi-sensei, I heard you are one of the most talented Western mages, can you think of anything? The enemies seem to be getting confident since our counter-attacks seem to be ineffective. At least we have Naruto-sensei to help us. She looked to Naruto, who smiled at her, and Setsuna blushed a bit and turned her head away from him. Sorry, I'm not a fool yet. Negi said embarrassedly. So you really are on our side, huh? Chamo said. Told you. Naruto smirked. Setsuna-chan, tell them what we're up against since I have some experience against Eastern mages. Hi Naruto-sensei. We are going against Yin-Yang charm users. They are a subdivision within the Kansai Magic Association. Long ago they were said to be the ones who had established independent magic in Japan. Like all mages, they are vulnerable when chanting their spells, very much like you, Negi-sensei. Just like you have partners, they have guardians. They are spirit warriors called Zenki and Goki, offensive demon and defensive demons. As long as their guardians are around, we cannot touch the spellcaster themselves. They sound pretty strong. Negi said. That is not all. They were deeply tied in with the Kyoto Shinmei Ryu. The organization used to protect the capital by destroying demons. They were also accompanied by the charm users, making a very strong combination. That sounds bad for us, doesn't it? Asuna said, sweat dropping. So we have the Shinmei Ryu or our opponents too? Naruto asked with a smirk. It has been a while since he fought one. Yes, you can say that, Setsuna sighed. They would consider me a traitor for leaving Kyoto. But I wanted to protect Konoka Ojo-sama, and that is all that matters. As long as I can help her out, I am satisfied. She felt a hand on her head and saw Naruto smiling down on her. It's good to see you wanting to protect Konoka-chan. Naruto smiled. You got my support, Setsuna-chan. Right. Seeing as you don't really hate Konoka, I'm glad. A friend of a friend is a friend, right? Asuna said, joining Naruto. Naruto-sensei, Kagurazoka-san. Negi ran up and grabbed the groups and put them into a pile. As of now, 3A's guardian angels are formed. We will protect the group, the class from the Kansai Magic Association. Naruto flicked Negi in the head. Ni-san, what was that for? That's a stupid name. Naruto shouted, I swear you got dad's bad taste in naming stuff. But I like it, Ni-san. Negi whimpered. The two continued to argue over the name of the group as the two girls watched. Are they always like this, Kagurazoka-san? Setsuna looked at Asuna. Yep, it's nice to see them like this. Asuna shook her head with a small smile. Asu-chan, Setsuna-chan, Negi and I are going out on patrol outside. Naruto said, walking outside with Negi. You girls handle the rooms. The girls nodded and turned inside. Aniki, did you bring your cards? Naruto heard Chamo ask when he caught up with the two. Yes, why? Negi said. It is a good time for me to teach you how to actually use those cards. Chamo explained. Naruto wasn't looking where he was going and bumped into a cart of towels. Oh, I'm so sorry, let me help you out. Naruto apologized as he grabbed some towels and helped the lady. No, I should be sorry, sir. I wasn't looking where I was going, the lady replied. After helping her out, he went to Negi. They didn't get to hear the lady comment on how Negi was a cute little mage, and Naruto is a hot teen, as monkeys appeared on her shoulder. 0 Group 5's Room 0. Asuna and Setsuna reached Group 5's sleeping quarters. Haruna, Nodoka and Kanoka were already sleeping peacefully on the floor while you had passed out on the chair. Well, it seems like everyone fell asleep before me. Asuna looked at the other girls with a large sweat drop. I'm going to patrol the hallways, Setsuna said. Let's switch shifts later on, okay? Asuna yawned. She stretched her arms above her head and made her way deeper into the room. I'll keep a watch on Kanoka. Setsuna nodded her head in a small bow. Thank you, I'll be going now. Ah, who is it? Asuna. Kanoka sounded slightly dazed, likely from having just woken up. She rubbed her eyes cutely before blinking and looking over at Asuna. Kanoka. Sorry, did I wake you? Asuna asked. Kanoka shook her head tiredly before getting up, startling the orangutan. Kanoka, where are you going? Bathroom. Asuna's sweat dropped at the response. Well, okay, if you got to go, ya got to go. Kanoka moved towards the bathroom lazily. She was still a little tired thanks to all that had happened today. Yawning a bit, she opened the door and was surprised to see a giant monkey inside. I'm still using it, the lady in the monkey costume said. She then put handkerchief on Kanoka's mouth, drugging her. Just kidding. She dragged Kanoka into bathroom and shut it. Asuna was worried since it had been a few minutes since Kanoka went to the bathroom. She's taking pretty long time in the bathroom. I have to use the bathroom too. You mumbled as she woke up. The vertical challenged girl walked over to the bathroom and knocked on the door. Hey Kanoka, are you done yet? Sorry, still using it, Kanoka replied from the bathroom. It was just a few seconds later that Setsuna came bustling in through the door. Kagurazaka-san, where is Kanoka Ojou-sama? She's in the bathroom, Asuna answered distractedly. She said quietly since you was jumping around, waiting to use the bathroom. How long has it been? Setsuna asked with a frown. 10 minutes, Yu grunted, struggling to maintain herself and keep from peeing on the floor. We both drank from the spring earlier, just please make her hurry up. Kanoka, you are in there right? Asuna asked. She knocked on the door several times. I'm still using it, was the reply. Kanoka-san, whatever you are doing, hurry up. I can't hold on much longer. Yu said, banging on the door. I'm still using it, Yu face faulted. I'm approaching my limit, Yu mumbled towards the door. Something doesn't seem right. Setsuna narrowed her eyes. I agree, said Asuna. Then there was a loud bang. Looking over towards the door, they saw that Yu had literally kicked it open. And inside the room was no Kanoka, just a seal that kept repeating, I'm still using it. Both Asuna and Setsuna gaped. We've been tricked. What? I don't care what the hell you girls do. Just let me use the damn bathroom. Yu booted both girls out of the room and slammed the door shut in their faces. 0 back with Negi, Naruto, and Chamo 0. Negi looked at the card he was holding in awe. Chamo had just explained to him how to use the Pactio card properly. Try it out, Negi Aniki. Chamo suggested. Okay. I think I'll use it to speak with Asuna-san telepathically. Negi said with a bright smile on his face. Bringing the card up to his ear like a cell phone, the redhead began to speak. Hello Asuna-san, how come I can't hear her voice? As Negi was trying to get his card to work, which he couldn't understand why it wasn't, his cell phone went off. Putting the phone to his ear, he was just about to say hello when Asuna's shouting voice came over to him from the receiving end. Negi, we got trouble. Kanoka's been kidnapped. What should we do? What mage uses a cell phone? Cried Chamo as anime tears poured down his eyes and Naruto raised his hand and caused Chamo to cry more. Kidnapped, shouted Negi. By who? I don't know. Just then Chamo spotted a figure coming towards them from the sky, overshadowing the moon. Aniki's, what's that? He asked, pointing to the figure as it came down. The figure landed in front of them with a loud crash, and Negi, Naruto, and Chamo saw that it was a lady with glasses in a monkey suit. A lady with glasses in a monkey suit holding an unconscious Konoka. Monkey, Era, the monkey said, I ran into you just then. You're the cute little mage and his hot teen brother. Konoka-san, Negi shouted when he noticed who the woman was holding. Hold it right there, Monkey Ne-san. She failed to comply and looked like she was about to take off again, so Negi began chanting a spell. Ross telephone Moss SCIR only to be interrupted by a swarm of monkeys that made to restrain him and preventing him from finishing his chant. Naruto was destroying them as fast as possible to get to Negi. He was saved by Setsuna and Asuna, who helped Naruto after finding them soon after. Setsuna managed to cut down the monkeys left and right with her blade, while Asuna hit a few really hard with her gauntlets and sent them sailing. Unfortunately, the woman with Konoka got away. Ah, Setsuna-san, Asuna-san. Thank you for saving me. But we have to go after Monkey-san. She has Konoka-san. Right, Asuna said. We need to catch up to that monkey woman and rescue Konoka Oju-sama. Right, Negi and Asuna agreed. Naruto nodded and started to run ahead. With their decision made, the three quickly took off after the monkey woman, following Naruto. Hoo, so he's a Western mage, huh? The woman in the monkey suit laughed as she ran through the streets. He didn't seem like anything special, and that other one, Naruto. He might be trouble. A cruel smirk came to her face. Once I bring Konoka Oju-sama back with me, the Kensai Magic Association will stop you. The monkey woman looked back and her eyes widened in surprise. Chasing after her was Negi, Naruto, Asuna and Setsuna. Oju-sama. Konoka. TCH. The monkey woman as she turned back around to focus on where she was running. What a bunch of persistent brats. Looking ahead, she smiled as she ran into the train station. This is bad, really bad, Negi said as she saw where she was going. Monkey Ne-san is escaping into the train station. Asuna growled. Just who the hell is in that monkey suit anyways? It's probably a charm user of the Kensai Magic Association. Setsuna answered, not even bothering to turn her head as she spoke. All that was on her mind was catching up to that woman and keeping Konoka safe. As they ran into the train station and jumped over the token booth as they rushed after the woman in the monkey suit, Setsuna added. That suit she's wearing is likely no ordinary monkey suit either. It's probably been enhanced with magic. Be on your guard. The other three acknowledged her words with a nod, but didn't say anything as they continued running. However, as they moved through the station, Asuna began to notice something unusual. There's something strange going on here, she muttered as she looked around the interior of the station. Even if we take into account that it's past midnight, there should still be some passengers around here, or at least a couple of staff members. That's because that woman has set up a charm of warding, Setsuna answered. Normal people won't even be able to come near here. They soon caught up to the monkey woman. She was just entering a compartment on one of the still trains. The group quickly followed her and made it not a moment too soon as the doors slammed shut behind them. Awa, we made it, Asuna shouted, and then sweat dropped as she saw Negi's robes had gotten stuck in the door. Really? She sighed, grabbing the brat by the hand and pulling him out. Meanwhile, Setsuna was already racing down the compartment. Let's hurry and follow her into the next compartment. Wait for us, Setsuna-san. Negi shouted as he was pulled free. He, Naruto, and Asuna quickly followed after her, running into the next compartment. Wait, the monkey woman turned and saw them, a frown on her face before it changed into a smirk. Hoo, I guess it's time for me to use my second charm Chan. A monkey appeared on Konoka and began waving a piece of paper about as the woman chanted. Charm-san, facilitate my escape. Water flew out of the paper, a large torrential wave that smashed into the group. This not only made it impossible for them to move forward, but the water was also filling up the compartment at a rapid rate. It wasn't long before the entire compartment was filled with water. Ho, the woman laughed from outside of the compartment. During her spell, the monkey woman had slipped out the door. You can all drown in this wagon. Bye. Negi grimaced as he tried to use his magic. However, Every time he tried to cast a spell, water would fill up his mouth and he would be forced to close it. To make water appear in an instant like that, he thought to himself as he tried to think of a way out of this predicament. What powerful magic! Single quote. Asuna was in much the same position, only worse. She was floating upside down, and because she was wearing a yukata she had gone commando. Now she was regretting it. I can't swing my sword with all this water. Setsuna though through gritted teeth. She couldn't help but wonder if this would be the end. Was this as far as she could go? Was this the limits of her strength? And what about Kanoka? No, I must be stronger for Ojou-sama, she thought determinedly. Ha! Naruto shouted as he destroyed the train's rear door with a ki-enhanced punch. All of the water soon left the compartment and the group took in the air that they were denied a few moments ago. Let's go, Naruto said as he ran. Everyone followed him and Negi asked a question. Setsuna-san. He called out, what exactly is going on here? I know that they would try to sabotage me to keep me from delivering my letter. But why would they kidnap Kanoka-san? Setsuna's eyes looked back, but she did not turn as they continued running. The truth is, before this all started there were some members of the Kensai Magic Association who did not approve of Kanoka Ojou-sama leaving for Mahora in the east. It's most likely that they want to use Kanoka Ojou-sama's powers in order to gain complete domination of the Kensai Magic Association. It was a shocking revelation for Negi and Asuna, Naruto just growled. Both the dean and I hadn't taken them very seriously, however, and it seems we are paying for our mistakes. I didn't think they would stoop to kidnapping someone in the middle of a school trip, but the Kensai Magic Association is not above contracting people for underhanded dealings. It's not all that surprising that they're engaging in a forceful operation. Setsuna, Naruto called from his spot next to her. When she looked at him the blonde pointed up ahead. Look. She did and her eyes narrowed. It's another charm of warding. That means they must have this out from the beginning. Naruto nodded. We need to hurry. Hurry they did. The group ran out of the train station and soon found themselves at a set of stairs that led to the outside. The woman in the monkey suit was now out of said monkey suit and in a pair of maintenance worker overalls, a skirt, thigh-high socks and collared shirt. Hoo, you've done well in following me this far. The woman smirked at the group. Asuna gaped. She took off the monkey suit. That's right, but that is as far as you go. The monkey woman said, I'll have you deal with the third of my charms. Setsuna rushed the woman, hand on her sword and tried to get to her. However, before she could the woman threw the charm and it exploded into flames creating the kanji for great. Chew on this. Third charm technique, Kyoto, Dai, character burn. Setsuna closed her eyes waiting for the flames to come but nothing happened. Looking in front of her she gaped as she saw Naruto with a scroll opened and absorbing the flames. What, did you really think a mediocre charm user like you could beat me? Asked an amused Naruto as the monkey woman snarled at him. Negi reaching into his robes he pulled out his pactio with Asuna. Sis mea pars per nonagenta secundas. Ministra Negi Kagurazaka Asuna. Naruto did not however invoke his contract since he wanted to see how Asuna did after some of his lessons. Asuna felt the flow of magic going through her and got ready for battle. Naruto, Negi, Sakurazaki-san. Let's go. Right. Setsuna shouted in surprise. The four rushed up the stairs towards the monkey woman, who narrowed her eyes at their approach. What was that light just now? Are those two girls partners that I heard Western mages have? Negi Aniki. Chamo shouted. Use it now. Right. Asuna-san, I'm going to bring out your personal artifact. Please take it. A weapon. I get another weapon. Wondering if it was going to be like the one she has on from Naruto. Alright, then give it to me. And so Negi did exactly that, holding out the card and shouting out his chant. There was a brief flash of light in Asuna's hands and before she knew it her weapon had appeared in her grasp. Only it wasn't a weapon, it was a horizon. What the hell is this? It's just a normal fan. Asuna shouted in disappointment. She had been hoping for something cool like with her gauntlets. Not a normal horizon. Damn, I guess there's no helping it. Fine then, here I go. Asuna and Setsuna both leapt into the air with a battle cry. The pair swung out their respective weapons towards the monkey woman, however, before they could hit the woman, two large creatures appeared, a bear and a monkey, to block their respective attacks. "What the hell is this?" shouted Asuna in surprise. "It's like I told you," Setsuna said. "They must be her Zenki and Goki. They may look weak on the outside, but you must be careful, they're a lot tougher than they look." "You foo. The monkey woman laughed as she hefted Kanoka over her shoulders. "My Zenki and Goki are pretty strong, you know. You'll never be a match for those two." "Kanoka," shouted Asuna, before growling at the monkey woman. "Damn you." In her anger, Asuna swung out with her horizon, smacking the monkey flush on the head. She, along with everybody else, was surprised when the creature's head burst apart before getting destroyed completely. Just who the hell is this girl?" wondered the monkey woman. Her Zenki and Goki were some of the strongest around. There should be no way a stupid brat like that girl could beat them. "That was amazing, Kagurazaka-san." Setsuna was awed by the power Asuna had just displayed. As far as she knew, the Oranget was just a normal high school student who got into the world of magic by accident.